What's up and welcome back to the Section 10 podcast, episode 454, presented by Barstool Sports. It is the home of your soon-to-be 2022 World Series champion, Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carrabis, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Pat Light, and he had a 23 ERA with the Red Sox, and you can't teach that. Bada boom. Realest guys in the room. Gary, how you doing?
What up, what up? Section 10 in the building.
In the motherfucking building. Presented by Coors Light.
Suck one.
Suck one. Pat, you look like you have something to say?
No.
No, I thought you were going to come in red hot right out the gate.
Nope. Listen.
Nope. No shocker there.
Okay.
All right. Jake, how we doing?
Doing good, Jared. How about you?
Honestly, wish we had baseball. Wish we had baseball to talk about. I think that would have been really nice to be able to open the show with some ball talk. But you know what?
A little baseball. A little bit of baseball.
College baseball?
No. Chris Sale was pitching today. Nicky Pivetta was pitching today. Matt Barnes was Instagramming today. I don't know if he pitched. I didn't see that.
He might have.
The boys were out there. Boys were out there carving up Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah. You know what else?
No.
What else?
We got Blaze Jordan on the show today.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's he at on Sox prospects? I only trust Sox prospects for my Sox prospects 10. Needs.
Yeah, 7. Fucking nailed it.
7. Cassis, Meyer, York, Jaron Duran, Jeter Downs,
Brian Bayo.
Jay Groom being at number 8 is interesting to me. What year did he get drafted? Fucking 2016, 15?
Yeah, 16.
Still hanging around.
I mean, he's still not that old. Like, whatever, and maybe Pat can speak on this and contribute to the podcast for once, but
he's 23.
Like, pitching prospects don't, unless you're like a Strasburg, someone like that, like, they do seem to marinate in the minors a lot longer than hitters do. Like, why is obviously pitching's one of the more difficult things you can do in all of pro sports, but like, why don't you see as many like 21-year-olds in the league?
I think it has more to do with baseball IQ than anything. You said pitching's a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult than, not that it's harder than hitting. Hitting's a very difficult thing to do, but I think it's a much more cerebral part of the game. So it takes longer for guys to develop. I also think that there could be more 21-year-old pitchers in the league, but I think that Major League Baseball likes to make it tougher on people and make it harder than it actually is to pitch in the big leagues.
I was gonna say because like the story, I don't want to say went viral because nothing that's ever happened in college baseball has ever gone viral, no matter how hard Jared tries.
That's not true at all. I actually just posted a video the other day that got like 2 million views.
The Vanderbilt team has, and I know you spoke on this too, has these new like watches, which I would have sworn was an illegal tactic. But they have these new watches that are calling the pitches for them. Like the coaches are doing it from the dugout. So if like that kind of stuff exists, and even at the major league level, like how many guys are calling their own pitches versus how many catchers are really calling the game? Like at what point, I guess my question is like, at what point does it even really matter how smart the pitcher is?
It's hard to say. College is just a joke. And all coaches call the game. No, they don't. It's very rare you see a catcher actually calling the game. That's why a lot of catchers, when you get to pro ball, are pretty incompetent as far as calling baseball games because they've never had to do it. As far as in pro ball, I mean, pitchers have to know themselves. It's pretty much on the catchers though to know the entire game and how it's played out. So although the scouting report might say one thing, for whatever reason, this guy has been looking for this all day and exploiting it. So we're going to stay away from it. We're going to go over here. So it's a give and take. But if you're not a rookie in Major League Baseball, you're as a pitcher, you have the freedom to do pretty much whatever you want on the mound. So you are calling your own game in the sense that you might let the catcher do it, but it's you letting him do it rather than a rookie being like, I have no choice. I'm going to I have to let whoever it is back there call my game.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are a lot of complaints. There's a lot of complaints about things that are happening in college ball right now. I know they hate the wristbands. They hate the bat flips. Now you get the sign calling with the watches. It is one of those things where you miss baseball, but you don't miss the people that just fucking complain about literally everything.
Who's complaining about the bat flips?
Oh my God. Every time, like when I posted the video of the dude that used his bat as a telescope, the amount of people that were like, well, now you got to drill his ass. It's like, what? Like, I don't know when as a society we decided that bodily harm was the response to celebration. But once we got there, Ty Cobb was definitely at the forefront of that. But I don't know when we got there, but the fact that wasn't one of those things that we realized over time should be reversed and not a thing anymore, we're still there. And like I see like some guys, they fight with it too. They're like, you know what? God damn it, I love these celebrations, but I just can't help but want this guy to get hit in the cranium with a 98 mile an hour heater. I want it both. I want it all. It's like, all right, I can at least level with that guy.
I can contribute to the pod again here because I was once a guy who threw at guys for that.
Ooh.
So I'm not just a guy that once believed in it. I practiced
Participated.
it.
Same.
Yeah, I practice it. So, but I've reversed course. I'm as much as it to me, like growing up, that's how I was taught to play the game. You know, it's like a respect thing of your opponent. It's now like, I looked at it on football. Like when I watched Chad Ochocinco pull a cell phone out from behind the field goal post, I loved that as a kid. So I was like, let's move on, and let's have some fun. Let's go all out. I love the telescope now. Love that idea. Fantastic.
I think it's different as a player versus as a fan because I'm with you. Like, not that I was a first round draft pick and played professional baseball, but like in high school, if anyone did shit like that, like I was fucking headhunting too, for sure. And now I'm the biggest advocate of like bat flips and all that shit. But Dallas is the same way. Dallas, as a player, you fucking walked across his mound, he'd kick a stack of cups off the back wall and off his own face. He didn't like that. There's lots of things Dallas didn't like as a player. But as a fan now, he loves all that shit. So, yeah, I think it's the player-fan perspective changes you. I think what I don't understand... Huh?
Even as a fan, like going as far back as the Astros series, when Correa tapped his wrist, I felt a way about it. I didn't want him to get hit in the face.
No.
But, I felt a way. I was like, okay. And then when Eddie did it, I felt a way about it. I was like, wish that hadn't happened. It's part of in basketball when Steph shoots a three and turns around immediately, that's wildly disrespectful. I love it. But when it happens against my team, do something about it. Don't fucking swing on them, but do something about it.
But
Get them out.
The response is not, let's potentially end this guy's career. That's not the response. When Correa did the wristwatch thing, I loved it because of how mad it made me. But I also got excited because I knew the execution was very poor. I was like, if we have a chance to do it back, that's going to be a great moment. That's your retaliation, is winning on the field and then rubbing it in their faces afterwards, not throwing 99 at their face.
Yeah.
Or doing it extremely prematurely.
That's the way to do it, though. Now or doing it extremely prematurely. You have to get back on the field. There's no more throwing at people. I think that's. Like I tell you, my story was Nick Williams. You remember the lefty ended up playing in Philly, I think. He's an outfielder. Yeah, I threw a dog shit changeup in high A because the Red Sox made me throw changeups. Like I had never thrown one in my entire life. But let's go to his hardest level of baseball that he's ever played at and make him throw this. And the guy hit a nuke off me, and I was a big watch guy. Because I admire your work, and it was a moonshot, and I turned around, watched it, and then I turned back around to get the ball, and he was still standing in the batter's box, and I knew it was my last inning. It was like the 7th inning. I was pitching well that day, so I knew it was my last inning. So I didn't wait I wasn't waiting. I don't think he would come back around for me, so I threw it the next guy.
Well, you never know.
You never know, but I threw it the next guy, which was Lewis Brinson. And I thought the dugout was yelling at me. Their dugout was yelling at me. In fact, their coaching staff and players were motherfucking Nick Williams on the bench because apparently he had put his teammates at risk in other instances, and they were over it. Like other guys getting hurt for his antics.
Interesting.
Which oftentimes is why throwing at teammates rather than the guy who did it is more effective. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I was the guy, what was the guy you interviewed him, Jared, from Minnesota? He was an old Minnesota. What is it?
David Ortiz.
Plouffe?
No.
Ortiz.
Old player back in the late '90s, early 2000s, probably. I think you interviewed him.
Rod Carew?
Nope, not Rod Carew. He was a white guy. I forget his name. It's like a weird last name. I think it started with an M. Maybe you didn't interview him, you just know him. Not Molly, no. I don't know who it is, but I'm telling you, it's a big name. Maybe you didn't interview
Justin
him.
Morneau?
No, maybe you didn't interview him. I thought you did. But his thing was that when we were, what's his face? Who's the Tim Anderson? He did something to us when in Minnesota, and his response, it didn't happen, but his response was to not only hit Tim, but he hit the best player on their team. So the best player on the team then approaches the guy and say, "I'm not getting hit for your shit anymore." And usually that stopped it back in his day. But again, times are changing. We're adapting to the pimp jobs, which I'm happy for as a fan.
Yeah. I mean, like, so I think there's a time and a place for all of it. Like when Joe Kelly threw at Correa and Bregman and all that, like, I love that shit. Like, that was one of the most viral moments of the 2020 season was when Joe Kelly did
that wasn't because someone hit a home run, though. That was because he just genuinely didn't like those people, which is way more like Pedro would throw at people if you stood a little too close to the plate. Like, that's way funnier to me than like, oh, I got taken a yard.
Yeah. But like Pedro would, like, there's a difference between you hurt my ego and I'm doing this as a tactical, like, this is like a strategy play where it kind of never really gets talked about, but it was a big story in the moment. Hideki Matsui was hitting the fucking piss out of the ball in the ALCS, and then Pedro put one under his chin. He didn't do shit after that. Like, and the thing about Pedro is that if he wanted to hit you, he'd hit you.
Oh, of course.
If he wanted to intimidate you and miss you, he can do that too. So, I think that there's still a place in the game for stuff like that. You have to, if there's a guy and you're trying to win a fucking championship, like, which is why the St. Louis Cardinals are the dumbest motherfuckers of all time. The fact that they just were like, you know what? This is the time we're going to get Ortiz out. They just kept fucking trying. And I'm not saying you have to light him up, but like move his feet, something. Like, make him uncomfortable in the box. He was obviously, he's hitting 670, whatever the fuck, with a 2,000 something OPS. Maybe make him uncomfortable. I'm not saying drill him. Maybe, brush him back a little bit, whatever. That
also doesn't work. That doesn't work against every hitter, though.
No, it doesn't.
And like Jason Marquis, and I know you're not talking about that series, but like if Jason Marquis tried to brush back like Manny in 04, like Manny's not reacting to he's taking the next pitch yard. Like, that's, it's not like, I feel like Soto, if you try to brush him back, he's going to stand close. He's going to stand on the plate. And like, that's what he's going to do next. Like, and it's all part of the fun. Like, it's like a small game within the game.
Yeah.
It is, but all you want in that situation, like Manny is different. Manny reminds me of Manny was a much better hitter, but mentally more like a Gary Sanchez, who is just It doesn't seem like there's a lot going on up there. So if it's just another pitch to him. Like I threw behind Gary Sanchez once time, and the next pitch he took the biggest hack I've ever seen in my life. That just doesn't happen. I thought it was a free pitch. I just threw behind you, and that doesn't happen. But a guy like Soto,
don't
he's
fuck
doing
with
it.
that guy.
You don't fuck with that guy. He's standing up there. You better not throw a meatball. But at the same time, you still have something implanted in the back of his brain that this could be at his chin. And it could throw his timing off just enough to make that homer a pop-up or something along those lines. So I think that's why you do those things. That's why you throw it up there. Oh, I hit my mic. Sorry, Jake. But that's why you throw it up there.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I guess it really depends on your perspective. Like I do see it from the active to former player perspective, the fan perspective, and then you just see some of these guys and they all look the same. They're all like fucking 50 and over, white dudes.
Holding the fish.
Yeah, holding the fish. Their Twitter bios are all the same. Love my wife, love my family, 3 kids. God first.
America
God
second.
first, heaters to the face second. They love it. They can't help it.
It's the same with every sport, though. Like you see in football, you see all the old guys saying, well, that was back when quarterbacks were allowed to get hit. Or when wide receivers were, when they went through the middle, were able to get decked. It's just, the old way is, everyone's going to think that it's stupid now. We might be 60 and think the same way, that, if they take away pimping home runs, be like, oh, well, back in my day, you're allowed to make fun of fucking people when you hit a home run.
I saw I can't remember if it was a career minor leaguer or someone who was in the show for a little, but they were tweeting like, oh, I made fucking $4.25 an hour my whole minor league career. Why should these guys get it better? And it's just like, are you the worst person alive? Like, what are you talking about? It sucked for me. It's going to suck for everyone else. Like, that's not how this works. That's not progress in the slightest. Like, you should be thrilled. Like, yeah, it sucks for you. No one's disagreeing with that. That's why they're trying to change it, because everyone agrees it was dumb and sucked.
That's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
But
baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the response to that, the telescope video. I mean, I've seen some takes before. There were some takes to that video. I mean, some people were in favor of public execution because of this, or like save it for a championship and whatever. Like, do you not realize that some of these college players, this is the highest level that they'll ever achieve, and this is the most fun they could ever have in their life? And you're just, respect the game, damn it. Respect the game. My forefathers had to die for you to play on this baseball field today. Nah. It is a game at the end of the day. People should have fun playing it. Some of these college kids, they're having a lot of fun playing it. And that's why I don't understand, and we talked about this, I think, last week. I don't understand how anyone watches a spring training baseball game when there's college baseball going on. Like, these dudes are going nuts competitively right out of the chute. First weekend, everyone's fired up, bat flips all over the place. It's fierce competition. And then you flip on a spring training game, and by the third inning, you got fucking Johnny Slapdick playing first base, and it's like, I've never heard of this person before in my life. Like, I'll watch, like, what I like to watch about spring training baseball games is it's your first look at when players switch teams. Yeah. Like, that's interesting to me. Like I would tune in to see Max Scherzer's first spring training start for the Mets. Like, that's just interesting to me to see him in a Mets uniform for the first time. Or when you have like minor league invites to spring training, and it's like, yeah, I want to check out this dude. Like, we don't really get to see a lot of minor league baseball televised, so yeah, I'll tune in to see what this guy looks like at the plate. Like, it's fun. But other than that, the fuck are you watching?
The biggest thing for me, and I don't expect them to change arguably the biggest component of college baseball, college baseball to pro baseball is the biggest difference between two sports out of the three major sports because of the metal bat. Like it would be like college basketball played on like a 7-foot hoop, or like college football was a 50-yard field. Like it's just that different between metal and wood to me. Now, I'm sure there's someone out there who can break it down and it's really not that different. Mentally, I'll never be able to get over that. And I know like their whole thing come the tournament is like the ping is back and shit like that. There's no reason that those kids are too fucking big to be playing with metal bats. Like I'm shocked there aren't multiple casualties a year at the college baseball level. Like it's insane to me. Because a lot of these guys play with guys in high school who are now in the league. Like physically, they're big enough to do real damage. I don't know how it doesn't happen. And it's like wild to me that we're waiting for it to happen to make that change, because that's what's going to change it.
The disparity between the top of the lineup and the bottom of the lineup in college baseball at every level of Division I and all the other divisions is drastic. So there is, because you're risking death. We should be changing the rule, or at least deadening the metal bats, which they have over the years.
Sure.
But there are certain guys that just at the Division I level cannot be handling wood bats. Like any good pitcher is just going to absolutely torch them because it's just too easy at that level to screw with guys because they just can't handle a wood bat. So that's why you don't do it. But I remember Kyle Roller from New York Yankees. I don't think he even ever, maybe he touched the big leagues like I did, which was for 14 seconds. But he was just as big as he was in AAA Scranton as he was at his fourth year or third year. I don't know when he got drafted at East Carolina. And I faced him as a freshman, and he hit the furthest ball that's ever spin off me in my entire life. It was so far. Again, like it was so far. But he was enormous. If this ball came back at me, it was coming 180 miles an hour. I was deceased. I'm not ever a part of Section 10. I never give up 40 runs to the Red Sox, which maybe people want. Maybe that's something people wanted. But it's terrifying. Some of these guys that have these bats, and then there's others that are like, okay, if you had a wood bat, you're probably not making it out of the infield. They're just at the bottom of the order because the orders are so different.
But they could, and we've seen this at the major league level, they could juice the ball, which is objectively less dangerous.
I don't know enough to know if it's objectively less dangerous. I guess I would imagine it would be, but I don't know enough to talk about that. But I don't want them doing any of that. Just leave the baseball alone. And if you can't handle a wood bat, you don't go play at East Carolina anymore. You don't go play at Monmouth, or you don't go play whatever your level of baseball is. Maybe you have to go a little bit less than that. But I would prefer the wood bat than to juice the balls. Maybe it's that don't they have those what is it called? You guys were hitters. I think you were hitters. I don't know. I've seen Jared pitch a bunch in wiffle ball. But what are the bats where they're like wrapped in plastic so they don't break? The wood bats though. Do you guys remember those?
Wood bats wrapped in plastic?
I thought there was. I don't remember if it's plastic. So I never hit outside of my freshman year in high school. So you have to bear with me here a little bit. But
that's kind of insane.
Yeah, I know. There were wood bats that I remember my buddies using in like showcase ball that were much more durable and did not break. And it looked like they were wrapped in some type of material. They didn't look like your traditional wood bat. And again, the hitters, whoever's listening, have to help me with this because I don't remember what they're called. But they were. Maybe you can use those types of bats in college baseball because you don't want them breaking. Because again, if you can't handle a wood bat, people are just going to pepper you inside because you're just going to break your wood bat over and over and over again, and you're never going to get a hit.
You're never going to get a hit.
Yeah.
Well, there was like a minor conspiracy last year or the year before because bats just weren't breaking at all at the major league level anymore. And that was, I think people were equating it to the ball being juiced. Like since it was juiced, it wasn't coming in, like it's not as hard of a ball, so it wasn't able to break the bats even inside, even on the handle. Do you remember this at all, Jared, or no?
I didn't hear anything about that.
No, I didn't hear that either.
Bats just, I mean, how many times do you think, I know this isn't science, but like think about how many fewer bats we've seen. Like we don't see as many guys walking to the dugout during at bats to get a new one as we did a decade ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also, we don't really see bats explode the way that they used to either. I mean,
Right.
They're using all different kinds of wood.
I know they got rid of ash. Like ash used to be big in the 2000s, and I don't think anyone uses ash anymore. Or maybe it's backwards. They never used ash, and now they only use ash. It's one of those. Ash has either been removed or taken away or implemented. Yeah.
Yeah, I think ash is the one that breaks cleaner.
Yeah.
Like I think like maple was the one that just would fucking explode and shards of wood would go everywhere. And they were like, yeah, if you're gonna break your bat, we want it to just break in 2, not 5,000.
Which actually seems way more dangerous because that's when like the barrel just goes flying into the stands.
Yeah. With a jagged shard at the end of that.
When was the last time you watched Clemens throwing at Manny?
I can see it in my head right now.
Okay, well, so this is what I wanted to talk about because there are certain plays that as time goes on between my viewing, the ball gets either farther away or closer. Like the Asante Samuel non-interception against the Giants in the Super Bowl. The longer I go in between watches of that, it seems like it was harder to catch. And then when I rewatch it, I'm like, oh, that hit him in the fucking chest. Like, so the Clemens Manny one, I feel like as time goes on, it gets closer to him. I know it was never close to hitting him. As time goes on, it gets closer. But then when I rewatch it, it's like, this was in the fucking other batter's box. Like this wasn't even close.
I want to rewatch that because in my head, without watching it, the ball is over like the heart of the plate, and it's just like above his head.
The catcher has to I feel like the catcher almost has to jump to catch it.
Yes, it's like I know in my head it's not even close. I'm just more wondering if it were lower, would it have been a strike?
I think it would have.
Was it the ALCS Game 3? I'm looking it up now.
Yes. Yeah, so I just brought it up on YouTube, and I have already watched this.
Of course.
All right, where is...
It's not even close.
Yeah, that's a fastball up.
It wouldn't have been a strike.
That was a fastball up.
It wouldn't have been a strike.
And Roger Clemens was historically a good control, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, it was intentional for sure. Don't get me wrong. The intent was there. Like if this were a murder, this would have been attempted murder for sure.
What I'm saying is if Roger Clemens had the control that he had, if he wanted to hit him, he probably would have hit him.
Sure. I don't think he didn't want to get tossed.
Yeah. He just wanted to send a message.
Oh, yeah, man, not even close.
Honestly, you could make a real case that he just missed his spot. That ball was that's pretty much where the spot was. Jorge went inside and he just reaches up for the ball. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying if you're not in Roger Clemens' head, you can make a case that he just missed his spot. I've missed that pitch 1,000 times.
No offense, Patrick. You are not Roger Clemens.
Yeah. I'm just telling you. You watch baseball this year, you will see more than 1,000 times. You will see a guy set up inside and the guy miss up.
Definitely. It won't be a Red Sox-Yankees game. Kareem Garcia wouldn't have already been hit by Pedro.
I'm not saying this is what happened, Coley. I'm saying you can make a case for it if you wanted to. And I'm sure
people forget this game, 2003. Pat was still a Yankees fan then. That's what you're hearing right now through your headphones, your car radio. Like this is Yankees fan Pat defending Roger Clemens.
That's
clearly
true.
headhunting
during the time of the game. During the time of the game,
we're talking about one of the 5 to 7 best pitchers of all time. He only throws this 92. So if he had thrown a 92 mile per hour fastball over the plate to Manny Ramirez, this was a very long home run. That's what you're saying Posada called, and Clemens was like, yup, that was their plan here.
I'm just telling you what you could make a case for.
I mean, the fact that when Manny starts pointing at him, Clemens goes immediately to fuck you, leads me to believe there may have been some intent. But if we had Clemens on the show today, which we don't, we have Blaze Jordan coming soon. There's no way Clemens ever admits to that. Ever.
I don't know.
He might.
It would have come out by now. He would have said it. By now.
But he doesn't do a lot of media. Like, I don't. When's the last time you heard Clemens speak?
Like 2009.
Right. Like, I think he would admit to it. I mean, it's fucking obvious. I don't know if he'd talk about, like, the Piazza incident. He might talk about this. But I also forget, like, in my mind, this happened so long ago. I forgot that is what led to Don Zimmer getting fucking yeeted to the ground. Yeet. What a series of events. It escalated so quickly. So quickly.
I don't know.
And is this when Ortiz almost kills Tanyan Sturts? Is that the same? No,
that's 04. That's 04.
Yeah, that's the A-Rod fight, right?
Yes. I'm watching this back, and like the angle, the center field camera angle is not like, it's a good angle to watch the game, but it's not the best angle to show intent. Like how close to Manny did it really come?
Didn't.
Not that close.
Yeah, like he ducks, but it was definitely not going to hit him. No.
Him ducking brought him closer to the ball. Like, if he stands perfectly still, the ball is farther away from his head than when he ducks into it.
Yeah, Manny was definitely looking for a reason.
He nearly fouls the ball off because of what he does. Like, he almost puts his ball in play. And shout out Posada. And Pat, maybe you can address, I don't know how many bench clearing brawls you've been in because you've hit someone. One? Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But the one thing that's always bothered me about these fights, the pitcher's just kind of out there with no weapon. The batter always still has his bat. Posada gets that ball back real quick to Clemens. You need that ball. You absolutely need that. If you're a pitcher and you can throw 98, 99, yeah, because a lot of pitchers throw their glove. That's not going to fucking do anything. You've got the ball and a guy charging at you. You get a real ace in your hole there.
You need something. What's supposed to happen is the third baseman and the first baseman are supposed to stop the guy before getting to you. It never works because it takes too long, but that's what's supposed to happen. Or sometimes you see good catchers, get to the guy first. Get to the guy first. You were supposed to drop the bat immediately. The one time I did it, I think I mentioned it on the pod where I was in Puerto Rico. The guy brought his bat to the mound.
Of course.
No, not of course. That is assault with a deadly weapon.
You absolutely listen. Jose Offerman, I do not believe did jail time for when he beat the shit out of that ump with his baseball bat. Like it's different law. There's a different law on the field. If I'm fighting the pitcher, I'm bringing my bat. That's just what's happening. Well, you knew I had the bat before you threw at me. That was your fault.
Correct. But yeah, so you need something. I remember throwing my glove down when the guy was charging me with the bat, and I remember thinking that although that's not a good weapon, I just threw down my only weapon against this gentleman, and that is why I decided to start backing up. Yeah. I was like, listen, I'm all set. Thank you. Sorry about that. I misfired, which I'm known to do, guys. I mean, come on.
I was going to say, it must be really nice to have
Jerry,
that
you don't
kind
need to chime in.
Read a scouting report.
Like, come on, I'm Pat Light. Come on. I didn't do it.
Thanks. Yeah. It's really nice to have that in my
Well, I'm
holster.
just saying, it's a nice out to have. It's a nice out to have.
Yeah. Great out. So, shout out to Posada for getting the ball back quick.
What you should have done, and obviously this is hindsight, so this isn't a critique on you, but what you should have done, you see the man coming out to you angry. You're just like, hey, do you feel like you're always on? Like, Do you need a moment to chill out, pal? Because I've got just the fix for what ails you, and that's an ice cold, perfectly refreshing Coors Light.
Yeah, Pat.
That's what I should have done.
Imagine if you just had a Coors Light in your back pocket, and you kept it.
Whoa! Hold on.
You kept it in the fridge in between innings, and you just so the mountains were always blue, and then when you came back out on the mound, it was just in there, and then up hit you. But here's a treat.
Boom! He probably just takes his base at that point. Said
he takes a base. He can use it. He can use it to ice his face or wherever you hit him, and then he can drink it. Now he feels great. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue to let you know when your beer is cold. Pat, what's your 12-pack this week?
We didn't have this. We didn't have one this week.
We actually have the top 12 species of frogs.
That's right. That's right.
That. We did have that. I thought we were skipping this week. That's my apologies.
No. Yeah, Pat's 12-pack is the top 12 species of frogs. And you won't believe where the bullfrog ends up.
You won't believe it. You thought the vacuum was controversial. Woohoo!
I appreciate it. Shout out Jake, because I erased that from my memory. And he posted it on Instagram. And just seeing that again just enraged me even more than when you originally. I just couldn't believe. The second time was worse than the first time.
If you watch the video, Coley just goes, "Oh no."
Couldn't believe it. Still can't.
Yeah, where is that video? I gotta. Let's see.
Just like I can't believe that mountain cold refreshment is made to chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. It's literally made. Made
Coley's
to
always
chill.
got Maine on his mind, and that's why they love him up there.
But I almost read potential jumping off points, and now I have. But yeah, I mean, they're talking about when's the perfect time to crack a Coors Light. I think when Pat Light hears the crack of the bat on a fastball, he just groove right down the middle of the plate, and he's just watching it. Just, what was his name? Kyle Roller?
Kyle Roller, yeah.
Yeah,
the steamroller.
When the big roll goes absolute moon tank on Patty Nips, that's when, again, you just reach in your back pocket. You're just like, oh man, Blue Mountains. It sounds like, based on how high and far he hit it, you could have responsibly finished that entire beverage before he even left the batter's box, which is that's a long time. Coors Light is the one I choose when I need to unwind, just like when Kyle Roller unwinded on that meatball. So when you want to hit reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light in its new look, delivered straight to your door with Drizly by going to CoorsLight.com/rocket. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Suck one.
You gotta suck one. This is Coley's reaction here. It's in
number 10, the television.
You get 9 more that are better than the fucking TV?
Oh, you betcha.
You have 9 things better than TV?
I would love to know the 9 things that are better than the television.
Listen, we're going to find out.
Coming in at number 9, we have the vacuum cleaner.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Awful.
What are you doing? Coley just goes, awful.
It was upsetting. It's quite upsetting.
Yeah, that was the worst list of all time.
So candidly, when I was doing that list, the first 3 were done off the top of my head.
The pencil and the pen
and the TV. All 3 were done off the top of my head, and then I was panicking. So I needed to find a list of inventions pre-1950. I found one as I'm rambling on trying to waste time until I bring the list up. And the first thing I see was the vacuum cleaner. And I said it. I was like, oh my God, I just said the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, man, Pat. I mean, it's not like we give you a whole week in advance to come up with the list. But you know what? The shout out to all the Section 10 listeners who frequent the Section 10 Reddit. I mean, the listeners, hate this segment, and I just refuse to shut it down. They're like, God damn
I
it.
would love to shut it down.
Another
Please.
fucking Pat's 12-pack. We hate this shit. People will stop listening to the show when they get to Pat's 12-pack. They're like, well, we had a good run. I mean, I guess they don't realize that you can fast forward if you want to, but don't fast forward. It's a great segment.
I think we can move on from it. We had a good run.
No, I think, yeah. So Pat's
We had a good
12-pack
run.
this week is the top 12 species of frogs.
Well, let's
Take it
do
like
this.
that.
I want to hear 12 through 7, and then we'll see where we're at.
Okay.
We'll toss it to
Blaze.
to Blaze because we don't want people to miss that. I mean,
Yeah.
Pat's the past, Blaze is the future. So we
Right.
want people focus on Blaze. We
Right.
don't want people to miss
Yeah.
that because he simply is a delight. So let's
Right.
hear it 12 through 7, and then we'll decide how bad this frog list is.
And
Also-
go ahead.
Blaze, you said he was the number 7 prospect in the Red Sox organization?
yeah.
Pat never even came close to that. And Blaze is the 3rd rounder. Pat was the 1st rounder. So that's way more impressive to be a 3rd rounder and have already, at 19 years old, has made it to the top 7 Red Sox prospects. So, all right, number 12.
Number 12. We have. We'll make this quick so we get right to the interview.
Right. Okay.
Glass Frog is 12.
What is a glass frog?
Okay, you want? Okay, we're gonna make this quick.
I mean, I'm gonna have questions.
The glass frog is known in the southern hemisphere, and it is known as the glass frog because it has a very glass-like skin.
Okay, that makes
Yep.
sense.
Moving on, we have, and goes for the same thing, only northern hemisphere. We have the wood frog.
You just said the southern hemisphere was the glass frog.
Yeah, and this next frog is the northern hemisphere.
Okay,
and it's the
all right.
wood
Got
frog,
it.
and it's because he hangs around wood, but his skin looks very
Like wood.
woody. Then we have at number 10, we have the giant ditch frog.
They just like the frogs for whatever reason. They're just like, oh, you in giant ditches? You're a giant ditch frog.
So,
oh,
funny enough-
you like to look like wood? You're a wood frog. Like, what's up with the species of frogs just being named after basic ass shit?
Well, what people don't realize is Billy Football has discovered all species of frogs, and he's the one who names them.
Okay, got it. That makes
That's
sense.
what I actually, after you asked me to do this, I had several tweets at me to bring Billy Football on for this. I've never met the gentleman, but apparently he's big into frogs.
yeah,
Big frog guy.
Big frog guy.
he's often accused me of steroid use, which I haven't done recently.
Okay. So we're at number 9.
Yeah.
We have the white tree frog.
Your grandma's favorite.
My grandma's favorite. Okay. Keep forgetting about that joke. Number 8 is the Darwin frog, and number 7 we have the northern rain frog.
Wait, what?
Whoa,
Take
hold
it
on.
away.
Hold on. What's the Darwin frog's deal?
The Darwin frog. You've heard of obviously Darwinism,
Yes, of course.
of course. So this frog was founded in that time period, which is why they call it the Darwin frog.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that were around that time. Why Darwin?
Many. Well, just because, it's called Darwinism, so they named it, hey, Darwin frog, boom. And then the northern rain frog, which was named after the northern rains, because that's where they found it. Let's kick it. Let's kick it to the interview.
All right, I can't. Hey, listen, the fact that you said the bullfrog is not where you expected it to be, like you promised it wouldn't be number 1.
That's
Fine.
where everyone expects it to be.
Yes. So there's still, I mean, we know for a fact when we come back from this Blaze Jordan interview that the bullfrog is going to be a top 6 species, right?
Yeah,
We don't
of
know
course,
that.
it's top 6.
We
But
don't
it
know.
might not
Could
be,
have-
or it might not be on
Oh,
it.
if you left the bullfrog off the whole damn list, that might be worse than putting the vacuum on the greatest inventions from 1949 and prior.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Well,
that's
we'll
a
see.
big tease. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know where the bullfrog is going to end up. Is it on the list? Is it off the list? Where is it? I don't know. We'll find out right after this interview with one of the top prospects in the Red Sox organization today. You know him as one of the most prolific power hitters in the country as a damn teenager. What is that? The African bullfrog? Look at that guy. You're going to tell me that guy is not a top 3 frog?
His grandma would.
Yeah. That's right. All right, with further ado, what is that? Ohio man finds rare a blue bullfrog? That looks cool.
It's the Ohio bullfrog.
All right. By the way, this is why you need to be subscribed to the Section 10 YouTube channel, because you want to talk about blue Ohio bullfrogs. You can't just listen to that. You gotta take that in with a visual aid. That's where the Section 10 YouTube channel comes in. Also, that's where the Section 10 YouTube channel is, where you can find, watch, and listen to this interview with Blaze Jordan. All right, you asked for it. We've been asking since episode 420. We're on episode 454. We finally have Blaze Jordan on Section 10. By the way, Blaze, did you know? I don't know if you knew this. Did you know that Coley was one of the main scouts that actually led to you getting drafted by the Boston Red Sox? Did you know that?
I actually saw the video. I think it came up on my Twitter. I watched that video. It was pretty good. Yeah, I heard about it. So, yeah.
How old are you right now?
I'm 19 now.
All right, so you're 19. You're 19 years old. I was in Cleveland for the high school home run derby. Yeah. But, I mean, you've basically been baseball famous since you were 11 because you hit a home run that was 395 feet when you were like, do you want to know what I was doing when I was 11? Like,
yep.
there's like hitting him 410. That's what he was doing.
like what was that like to just be like, yeah, I'm 11, but I can also just kind of hit adult tanks?
Honestly, it's kind of weird because I was in 6th grade, so I would go back to my school, like it was like a few days later, and then like they all saw the video and stuff, and they're like, I didn't know you were that good. I was like, well, I mean, I honestly didn't either. So I was just like, and then ever since then, I just like enjoyed doing all the home run derbies and all that. So it's kind of where it all kicked off, like at the beginning right there. So that was kind of when I like saw that I guess I had some power or something. So yeah, it was pretty cool though. So
were other parents like constantly pulling your birth certificate? Like, did they just not believe you were 12 and under?
Honestly, I don't even know. I just know like when I was 12 or 11 or 12, like more and more people started coming and watching our games, like in Colorado. And it was kind of weird because like it seems like some of the other teams, like parents would like go away from their field and come and watch our game instead of like their own kid. And it was like funny. And like our games would be like super intense because like everybody wanted to beat us and all that.
So like you get drafted in the 3rd round, sign with the Red Sox. We're going to talk about like the draft process and everything like that. But you're going to have like this big league career and hopefully play 20 big league seasons. You're essentially not going to ever know what it feels like or remember what it was like to like not be the man. If you're hitting 400-foot homers at 11, by the time you're like 38, 39, getting ready for big league retirement, you're not going to remember like, remember back when I was 10, that was the first time that was the last time that I like wasn't cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. But I got to admit, like my friends keep me in check though, for sure. Like they make sure they mess with me and all that. So they keep me in check and made me, like, I guess humbled me a little bit. So they make sure like I don't get the big head and stuff. So, and my parents taught me well with that too. So I make sure to like not let that get to me and all that. So, but I like having my friends like do that still and like mess with me and all that. So that's always a good thing to always have around. So.
Yeah, we're jumping around a lot early, but I really have to take it all the way back to the beginning. Which parent, maybe it wasn't even a parent, maybe it was a friend, which one of them had the foresight to name you Blaze? Like, that was, of all the things, there's a lot of talented prospects that come out. Not all of them are named Blaze Jordan. Like, that jumps off the page.
They actually saw it in a magazine. I think my mom was reading a magazine and she saw it in a magazine because there's an article written about a kid named Blaze. And then my dad was like, that would be like a sick football name because he was a football player. So then I guess he thought me and my brother would play football, but me and my brother played football until we were like 8 years old, and then we both quit. So then I just followed my brother's footsteps, and then we both just played baseball. He's 23 now, so he's 4 years older than I am. So I just always would see him at the field and all that, and just so I ended up playing baseball. But that's how they ended up getting my name, though. But my dad thought it was going to be a good football name, so.
Wrong.
It's for sure a tremendous like SEC name, like regardless of sport. What, like, I know you had committed to Mississippi State when you were like 5 years old. Before the draft, like when I started tweeting about you and being like, this is the guy, a lot of people were like, no, he's going to Mississippi State unless he's like a top 10 pick. At what point were you like was it team fit? Were you ever going to go to college if you weren't drafted in like the top 2 rounds? Like, what was it about the Red Sox, especially in the 3rd round? Like, what was it like? Oh no, I'm actually fuck college. I'm going straight to the pros.
It was definitely a tough decision to make for sure. Like I talked to my family and all that, and I was telling them like what I was thinking too. Like obviously, like it all comes down to like money and stuff too. Like I want to make sure like I was able to like get enough to like take care of myself and my family in the future and all that. So that was like, I mean, I gotta admit that was like one of the main things. And then it just so happened to be that the Red Sox called, and I was super pumped because like I gotta admit, like I was like crying and all that. That was like I was in my room and all my friends and stuff were there, but I went to a room by myself because like I wanted to surprise them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the draft came, I didn't want them to know that like where I was going and all that. And some of my buddies are huge Red Sox fans, so and their parents and stuff. So like I started bawling like when I found out that we had like a deal in place and all that, and then my dad started crying too, and my brother and stuff. So like that was like it was weird for me because like I never see them cry or like tear up. And then my mom walked in and she thought something was wrong, and then she was like, what happened? And then I ended up telling her, and then she started bawling too. But yeah, it was just a cool experience. And then but yeah, I mean it was a very tough choice because I mean. Obviously, like you see the games on TV at Mississippi State, like it's a sick place to play at. A lot of my buddies play there, and I played with some of those guys since I was like 10 years old. So I'm really good friends. I still go down there and train a little bit and go visit them and stuff. But it was pretty cool to see them win the College World Series and stuff last year and all that. So, but yeah, it was a tough decision for sure. But I just felt like it was the right fit for me, and yeah, I
agree.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
So when you get a call from the Boston Red Sox that they're using their 3rd round pick on you, knowing that you had committed to Mississippi State, you have to feel like, all right, like I'm definitely getting above slot because they know that like why wouldn't I? Because you were like the top high school prospect in the country, so it's like yeah, like of course if we're gonna take him in the 3rd round. Of course, we're going to have to spend above slot. So you know at that point that you're selected. There's the moment you guys are crying and everything. How long after that before you really kind of made the decision? Like, let's just say from the moment that the Red Sox made their offer, you know the dollar amount. How much time between the offer and the decision was there?
About 5 seconds.
All right, follow-up question. How much longer until after you signed did you buy that Range Rover?
I bought it before I signed.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah, bet on yourself.
Love that.
Bet on yourself.
Yeah, so like I knew I was going to, but like obviously like with all the physicals and stuff, like I had to like wait out on a lot of that stuff and everything. So, but yeah, so I wanted one, and then just it came to be, and then I actually got rid of it though. Now I drive something else. So yeah, I had it for about a year, or maybe over a year. So I ended up selling it. I got something else. So I actually got something.
What
else.
do you have?
Do you have a Raptor?
I have a G-Wagon.
Oh,
G-Wagon.
Okay. Excuse me.
Did I see somewhere that they're going to stop making G-Wagons, or did I make that up?
I think they might be going like electric or something. That's why I kind of wanted to go ahead and get one.
Yeah.
I really didn't like want an electric one. So like I just went for it, and then I bought it when I was in Salem, and I had it shipped to my house, and in my hometown in Mississippi. So yeah, so that's
for you.
yeah. It didn't take me long to get that either. It was like a few days after the draft. So
I love that. Just go all in. The second that you know what you want, you know what you want. So when you're 11, you've got the 395, but then how old were you when you were hitting? Like you were like 16 when you were hitting 500-foot tanks. Like not just one, not just like, oh man, I hit a 500-foot homer. There was, by the time you were like 16, wasn't there like 6 of them?
Yeah, there's quite a few, and it was obviously with like the old like BSR bats like they used to use like back in the day in like high school and college. But
that doesn't matter. Do you know how many people? It's the same thing when they're like, oh, like Barry Bonds took steroids. Yeah, but he hit 760 something home runs. How many other people did that? Like you can give that bat to several other 16-year-olds. Guess how many of them are hitting multiple 500-foot home runs?
Yeah, that's
None.
true. Honestly, I shocked myself when I did it too. Like I would like hit it and I like realized it would go far, and then like I would see like where it landed, and I was like, and then they would like announce it over the stadium, and I was like, I was like surprising myself while I was hitting. So like I didn't know how to react, and then like I was like sitting down with my family like after, and like I was going through my Instagram feed, and that's all I saw was like myself, and like I was getting all these tags and all that. So that's like really like it kind of started when I was 11, but once that happened, like when I was like 15 or 16, whenever I hit those 500-foot home runs and all that, that's when it like kicked off, and I guess it kind of just blew up a little bit and stuff. So
yeah, like if they're saying over the loudspeaker like that ball was hit 504 feet, like you almost have to call time to like taste yourself a little bit and be like, yeah. I just fucking hit a 500-foot. I'm 16. I don't even have a fucking license yet, and I can hit 500-foot homers. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I really did, like I was so zoned down, but I like stepped back and I smiled because like I surprised myself, but then in my head I was like, I want to hit another one and see how many I can get. So then I realized the balls like I had my ace swing on that night. So then I ended up having a pretty good round, and then obviously after that I was just focused on like trying to win it and stuff. So, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That doesn't matter. Like no one remembers that Justin Morneau won the home run derby in 2008. Everyone remembers Josh Hamilton because he hit monster bombs. People just love monster bombs. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter like who ends up winning those.
When Vladdy lost a few years ago, like no one gave a shit.
Who won? I was there. I don't remember who won.
It was Pete Alonso.
In 19, Pete Alonso won that one.
Yeah. Cleveland, that's when he won it too, because we like all took a picture and stuff after. That's the only reason I really remember. But
now when you won, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like watching Vladdy hit was like pretty cool. Like just like being like on the side right there, that was pretty cool.
Dude, try being in fucking left field. It was like a hazard because that was the first year that they just said we're not going by the rules, because the rule used to be the ball would have to land before you could throw another pitch, and they had Vladdy. Vladdy would hit like a little rainmaker, and then he would hit a fucking bullet. So people are like looking up, and then the other ones are just coming in hot on a line. We were like ducking. It was crazy. Like people were like fearing for their lives. It was almost like the Terry firework video where just
put it in reverse.
Yeah, put it in reverse Terry. Like it's just everything was just blowing up all over the place, and you didn't know where to look. You didn't know if you had to duck or like look over here. It was insane. That was a wild night for a home run derby.
Oh yeah, and I don't like we took like a 4-minute round like the day before, and I didn't realize how tough it was to hit for 4 minutes like straight with like one timeout. And then I had like the most respect for the guys who had to go like 3 rounds, because I was like gassed after like 1 round and stuff. I was like, that's like a ton of swings, and you're over here. I think he hit like what 80 or something home runs that night, or 70.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Silly.
But yeah, it was pretty insane. So
yeah, I mean that's stating the obvious. That has to be the most people that you've performed in front of ever.
Oh yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, when they first were like walking in, I like looked at my summer coach, because he was the one that was down there with me, because I could only bring one person onto the field, and both of my parents were there, and my brother and his girlfriend were there. So like I couldn't like choose one person, but my summer coach was there too. So I was like, I'll let y'all like sit together, and so I brought my summer coach down, and so when they started like walking in and stuff, I looked at him. I was like, dang it, this is a lot of people. I told him, I was like, hey, like, I'm starting to like get nervous, but like once I got in the box and stuff, I kind of like zoned out, and it's kind of weird. Like you couldn't really hear them. It was like, I guess since I was like so zoned in and stuff, but I think the second one I hit was like a cue shot, like up the middle, like off the very end of the bat, and that's when I like kind of got nervous. I was like, what if I don't hit one? But then luckily I got in a groove though and found my swing. So
now, when you won, there was a person right outside the batter's box that you immediately saw, and that person was Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Are you furious you don't get to play with him in a couple of years when you come up to the bigs, or are you hopeful he'll come back maybe? Like what was that moment like? Like just seeing it, that's the first person you see right there, and he's as hyped as you are. And B, are you as furious as I am that he's still not here?
Yeah, I mean, that moment was like, I wasn't expecting it. Like, honestly, like, I barely remember it. But the coolest thing was like, after I saw the picture and stuff, like, I don't even remember putting my arms and stuff up like that. Like, and then I saw the picture, I was like, dang, that was pretty sick. So I had to send it to my friends and all that. But yeah, it was one of the things, like, I was talking to him and stuff before, and like he was asking how everything was going, because he actually played for my summer coach. He played on the Doing Dodgers, who I played for. So he that's how we like had the connection and stuff. And he actually coached my brother's team when they were down in Jupiter. So I met him down there and stuff too. And I think that might have been like his first year in the big leagues when I first met him and stuff. But so then after that, it was just like, after I talked to him, like, I didn't expect him to like be walking up, but like, I guess it was just in the moment, like it all happened and all that. So, but yeah, I gotta admit, it would be great to play with him, but I know that, you know, everything happens for a reason and all that. So it's, yeah, it would be great though, but I know he sure had a good career, good stint with the Red Sox though, for sure. So they bought her.
Yeah, he was
definitely.
all right. He was all right.
Yeah.
He was okay.
Pretty decent. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Mookie Betts, you know, that was a dude that played short, and he was at second, and then he got blocked there. So now he's a right fielder. What do you kind of see your defensive position path being from Salem to the big leagues? Like, because, you know, that's what I was kind of going to ask is, like, take out who you're blocked by, all of that. If you could hand pick, like, this is the position that I want to play, and I know you're going to say I'll play any position if they ask me to, but if you could hand pick a position, like, what would it be, and kind of how do you kind of see your defensive positioning evolving?
Yeah, I mean, I really think, like, I'm really comfortable at third base, and I feel really comfortable. Like, I wasn't comfortable at first because I played like a short amount of time, and like in high school, I didn't play over there until because I was kind of always the bigger kid, so I was always stuck at first base because I couldn't move that well. But like ever since I changed my body and all that, I moved to third base like my sophomore year of high school. And then so it took me some time to get comfortable and stuff over there, but I put a lot of work in with the coaching staff and all that down here, and they've been like great and giving me all these tips and all that, and learning from some of the older guys and a lot of the veteran guys and all that. So yeah, I really feel comfortable at third base, and I really see myself playing third base. But I mean, obviously, I'm just trying to get to the big leagues. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So so whatever that gets me to the big leagues, whatever that is. But yeah, I'm really comfortable at third base, and I can see myself playing third base. So,
do you like? We've had this not even debate. I think we're in agreement. Like, being a DH, which is a possibility. I'm not saying your defense is trash or anything like that, but I'm saying it's on the table. Mm-hmm. It's a different mentality. Like, is that something you'd be prepared for? Do you think they would work that in at the minor league level before you just came up to the bigs? Like, or is that something that's crossed your mind even?
Honestly, it's like never really crossed my mind because I'm just kind of like taking like one step at a time. But like I said, like if it gets me to the big leagues, I mean, I'll do whatever they need me to. But yeah, I mean, it's like a different mentality, like DHing, because you gotta like make sure you like stay focused and stuff in the dugout, and you're like not on the field all the time, and you gotta make sure you like stay loose and all that. So it's definitely a different feel and all that. But like we get like some days like in the minor leagues and all that, we get like a DH day or something like that where we get time off from being on the field and all that. So they like mix it in here and there. So I think if any of us have to do it, we would all be ready. So
yeah.
What's your official height and weight right now? Because I saw that developmental video that was basically centering around Nick York, but you were kind of hovering in the background looking like a moose. So like, where are you at right now in terms of like your height and weight?
Yeah, so my goal in the off season was like to get stronger and definitely like put on more weight from last year. And so right now I'm like 6'2", like 222 to 223. So last year I came in at like 208. So like obviously like, my body feels like really good and stuff. My swing's feeling really good. So I tried my best like in the off season to like, I was like cooking a lot of my meals and all that, and then making sure like I stayed on top of my diet so I can put on good weight and still like move really well. So that was my whole goal, because I could tell like I could play at a heavier weight. So like I wanted that to like have like the extra power and all that and all that. So that's kind of
you don't have enough power. That's what people say about you.
This is one thing that Blaze Jordan has to work on. It's his power. How much weight do you think? Because what's the most amount of games you've played in a year?
I think I play like 30 total like last year, not counting extended, and I would probably say we probably played 25 in extended. So I probably played 55 games last year,
right,
or somewhere around there. But so basically, that's probably the most I've probably ever played, because in a high school season we would play like 30 or something like that. So
right, yeah. So like how much weight do you plan on like, or not plan on, but anticipate losing over the course of a season? Because that's inevitable.
Yeah, for me, like I want to make sure I stay around like 215 to like 218, just stay in that range, like not get above 223, like where I'm at now, but not get below 215. Because like when I get to like a certain point, like I feel you can like tell like if you feel like really strong or something in the box. And I've been talking to like the nutritionists and the strength coaches and all that here, and they have a really good plan for me and all that. So they're definitely putting me in a good position, and I stay in contact with them all the time, and they're down here right now. So
before we move on, are we allowed to say he's talking to these coaches right now due to the lockout?
Oh yeah.
Well,
we can cut that.
Yeah, I mean it's just the minor league. It's just the minor league coaches. So like
for sure, I was genuinely
trying to protect
asking.
you.
We're trying to protect you. We're trying not to get future draft picks taken.
No, I mean, but all the coaches that are down here are all the minor league coaches. So I don't know if that like affects the. I don't
think so, because they can still do minor league deals and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, like I think we're like on time with like spring training and like all that. So like I don't think we'd be able to like do what we're doing if like the coaches couldn't.
For sure, yeah. Right. They're looking. Joe Torre has his eyes on us 24/7. When we slip up a little, it's in the news. So I just wanted to double check.
Right.
But Jared brought up Nick York, and it's interesting. Like, obviously, the Red Sox are different. It's a different fan base than other teams, because like we care tremendously about the major league team and not as much about everyone underneath. Then we sign Heim, let him run the show, and you kind of see the writing on the wall, like, oh, we're going to do this Dodgers thing where we're spending, but also really focusing on development. And you and Nick York were really the first two guys he brought in to build this around. What's the energy like around these young guys? Because at least from up here, from the 1,000-foot view, it feels like something special is potentially really brewing down there. Does it feel different? Does it feel like we're just itching to get up there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, especially like in between all of us, I think we just try to make each other better. Because like obviously, like when we're down here, we're all in the same groups and all that. Like we're hitting together, doing defense and all that together. So we're like pushing each other, and obviously like all of our goals like to play together in the big leagues. Like me and Nick were like talking about that the other day, like how cool it would be like for us to be in the big leagues together and all of that. And then so we've really like gelled and like all that and become like all good friends. Like me, Marcelo, like Cavadas, and a lot of the other guys too, like York obviously. And yeah, so like I feel like we got like a really good like core down here. Like we always just like try to make each other better, give each other tips, and so. One of the other guys that's been great too has been Tristan Casas. He's been like just over there. We've been working out. He's been down here for a few weeks and stuff too.
He sees the vision. That's why Tristan sees the vision.
For sure. Yeah, and it's really cool to see that guy work too, because that's probably one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. Because he's always the first one. Like I try to get there super early, and like he beats me there, and I'm like an hour and a half early, and I'm like he beats me there, and he's the last one to leave and all that. And so he's definitely like a guy that like I like watching like how he trains and like goes about his business and just how like he takes care of his body and all that too. So I feel like we just got a really good young core, and then like we're all like really close with each other too. So I feel like that's another good thing also. So.
Yeah, like you guys, I don't even know if you realize this. You guys are going to essentially change the course of the Red Sox DNA, because the Red Sox have drafted and developed star players that have come up through the system, won championships. Dustin Pedroia, Mookie Betts, Andrew Benintendi. But these guys are all like 5'6". You and Cassis are beasts. Like it's just not the stereotypical Red Sox developmental to have these guys that are man beasts. But I got the chance to meet Meyer in Denver at the All-Star game. Those eyebrows are big league ready. I don't know, like the swing's perfect. It's beautiful. I know he's a stud. He was the top prospect out of the draft last year. Yeah, I was actually at Coley's wedding when he got drafted. Super exciting news. But to see those eyebrows up close, it was fucking bananas. Like those things are nice.
Oh yeah, it's pretty impressive. I gotta admit, like when I first saw him too, like I noticed that too, and I was like, I mean, those are kind of nice. I gotta give it to him. Like, he definitely takes care of them for sure.
Yeah, those are 80 grade.
Oh yeah. So I think he just came down here, so I got to see him like last night and stuff, and this morning and all that. So he's always a fun guy to hang around too. So
that is cool. That like if you think about it, that the Red Sox system, everyone was shitting on it 2 years ago, whatever it is, and now we're at a point where Red Sox fans can get super excited about the guys that are not just in the system, but the guys that are coming up together. Like there is a core that is starting at the bottom and ascending throughout the ranks to hopefully all get to the big league level at the same time. Like it reminds me a little bit of the Royals, like when they had that core and they played at every level and came up together. Like that has to be exciting for you to come into. What's funny, Coley?
I thought you were going to say like when like Xander and Mookie and Benintendi all came up together, not compare us to one of the most dog shit teams in the league.
The Royals won. They went to back-to-back World Series and won one.
Sure,
what are you talking about?
They beat the Mets. Congratulations. Like that doesn't count.
That
you kidding
counts.
me? I thought you were going to compare
counts.
it to like a former Red Sox team that also
those
won a
guys
World
didn't all
Series.
play together though. That's a terrible
did.
comparison.
In Portland, they did. They absolutely did. They played in Portland.
Very briefly.
They've talked about how they came up together. Like that was a storyline. That was
anyway. So you guys are like the Royals, which is crazy. Like you guys are coming up together like those Royals teams. Do you think it takes less pressure off you knowing that there are these top prospects in the Red Sox organization, but you guys are kind of coming up at the same time, level to level?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think like us just playing together, like if you play beside someone or all the other guys that are like also super good and basically like the same age as you are, and someone who like wants to work as hard as you and all that, it's like it's easy to go about your business because you like push each other and all that. So, and obviously like they got your back and all that, especially like the bond that like we've all created and all that. So it's pretty cool to see, and because at each level, like wherever we're at, like I guess we always have like that one person that like we're like pretty close with. Like York went up to Greenville and stuff last year, so and like all that. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool to see how our team like plays out and all that. So
now, how like we've only heard tale, we haven't fully seen it up close yet. How good is Nick York at hitting? Because everything I read about it, like when your guys' draft happened, it was kind of like, why did the Red Sox reach on this kid? Like, I think he was ranked like 112th or something. I know he's got it like tattooed in his brain. He brings it up all the time. But like, truly, like everything I read about him is like, oh, another 30-game hit streak for Nick York. Like, what is it about him and his approach that makes him so good in the box?
Yeah, so when I first got called up to Salem, our first series that I was at was in Lynchburg. And I think he like over 500 in the series. And one game he goes oppo homer, and then he goes poolside homer like 480 feet. And then like he'll have like 3 hits, and then like if he has like a bad at bat, like he's like so mad like in the dugout. And I'm like, dude, you have like 3 hits in the game, but I think that's what makes him so good though, because like he expects so much after himself, and I think he put like that chip on his shoulder, like trying to like prove that people were wrong, and he works his butt off and stuff too, and yeah, and he he takes the swing like very seriously and all that. And just seeing him work in the cage, he has a very like simple approach, and he's like very relaxed and all that. So I mean, it's pretty cool to hit with him because watching him take BP, it's definitely like a major league like round of BP. He's not up there just trying to hit home runs and all that. He's like actually like focused on like his like what he's trying to do in the like in each situation and all that. So he's I definitely think he's going to be a big leaguer, and he's going to stay there for a long time because that stretch that I saw, like I've only seen him a little bit like in person, like because I was in FCL and then he was in Salem all year. But just that 1 week, I was like hearing stuff about him, like how he was having those streaks, like you said, and all that. And then I go up there and he does that, and I was like, this is like one of the most impressive things ever. Like he come up the bat, and I would be in the dugout. I'm like, I bet he hits a double right here, and then he hits a double, and I'm like, I literally I told you, like he would, and then it was the most impressive thing I ever saw. But yeah, he's the real deal for sure, and I think he has a very, very bright future ahead of him. So
when you essentially build your name as a high school star using a metal bat, was there any doubt in your mind of like, oh, like I'm not going to be as special if I have to switch to wood? Or is it just the mindset of like, all right, instead of hitting 500-foot home runs, I'm just going to hit 450-foot home runs, and those are still as cool? Or is it you're hitting 440-foot homers being like, all right, I need to put on 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason so I can get back to hitting 500-foot tanks with this piece of wood?
Yeah, I started – like I played up, like I said, my brother was 4 years older than me. So like when I was 13, like I was playing on a 17-year-old team. So I was using like wood and stuff like a lot. And if I had my preference was always to use wood. Like I just like, I didn't like metal a whole lot. So like if we go to like a tournament, like I always wanted to use wood. So luckily most of the tournaments we played in was wood bat. So I didn't think like actually I was kind of excited to like make the change to just strictly just use wood bats. And so when I did make the transition when I was 13, I was like a little bit nervous because I was like, well, I mean, I was hitting like home runs, so all these people like expecting like to see if I can hit with the wood bat. But then my first tournament using the wood bat, I had a home run. So then I was like, well, I guess I got it with the wood bat too. So I was like, after that, my confidence just grew, and I guess that's like, I just gave me confidence for the rest of the time. So
I love that. Yeah, I mean, like I feel like that's a transition. If you're hitting over 500-foot homers as a 16-year-old with metal, the transition to wood is not going to be that big of a deal. And I feel like it was largely overblown at the time. So now, like you have, because what year of high school did you miss?
I went my freshman and sophomore year, and then I took my junior year during my sophomore year online.
Yeah.
So I skipped my junior year and became a senior that year.
Okay.
Then that was the year of COVID, so I only got to play like 10 games. But
right.
But yeah, I skipped my junior year basically. So yeah, it was just kind of like a family decision. I talked to him about it, and then obviously like I loved playing for my high school and all that, but I knew like what I wanted to do, and that was like to take the next step, whether it was to go to college or play professional baseball. And like I was always the type of kid that I always liked playing up and stuff anyways. So like I liked being challenged and all that. So it was just one of those things, like I just like brought it up and we realized we could do it, and then I just went with it, and it ended up turning how it is now. So
speaking of being challenged, you go from high school ball to pro ball, and then last year you didn't get to swing, but you stood in for Chris Sale just to get some looks.
Yeah.
And having played high school baseball, not that far removed from it, how big of a difference are we talking about when you're? And I know that there's obviously a difference in game versus like he's just throwing to you, but like how big of a difference are we talking?
Yeah, well, when I was standing in, it looked like he was like throwing from like first base from his like arm slot. So it was like when I was in the box, it was very weird because it would look like it's like starting way outside, then it comes in, and I'm like, dang, that's a strike. But obviously like I couldn't swing, so like I didn't really like get the like make that decision in my mind to swing or not. But yeah, in high school, like it was honestly kind of a struggle because one day you'll be facing a guy that's throwing 70 miles an hour. Then the next night you're facing a guy that throws 88. And then it was just like one of those things I could never figure out my timing. So like it was always it was kind of rough for me to like figure it out, because I would like have to change stuff up and always like, so like in Pro Bowl, it wasn't like much of a change for me. Like I kind of liked it because like I said, I like the challenge and all that, but all these guys are very good and they all throw very hard now. So you can kind of get like your timing down on a lot of the guys. And, you know, like all their stuff's like basically like really hard and all that. So you're not facing a guy who's throwing 70 miles an hour with a 55-mile-an-hour curveball. So it's like, so that's like another thing that was.
Those guys have feelings too.
Yeah. I mean, nothing against them, but like it was tough for me for sure. I got to give props to the guys who like rake in high school. My senior year, I was struggling. Like I had a good year, like, or a good 10 games, but it was just I was frustrated, but it's frustrating, but it was but yeah, always being challenged and all that. So
I know you've talked about staying humble and your friends kind of busting your balls to keep you humble, but you get compared to Bryce Harper when you're 13, 14, and then you have this 10-game COVID season that it's only 10 games. Like that shouldn't paint a picture of you, but the pendulum kind of swings a little bit back. Like, oh, maybe we need to pump the brakes on this kid. What did like, as you reading this, or if you say you don't read stuff, or I don't believe you, but like when you're hearing all these things and you're like, man, they just thought I was the next Bryce Harper. Now they're telling me to go to college. Like mentally, what did that do to you?
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. Yeah, I read a lot of that stuff. Like
I love that.
I saw a lot of the stuff, and I know like I was like I see some stuff like after this past season, and I see like people switch up their minds now, and like that was like pretty cool for me to see, because I was like it wasn't my goal to like it just like made me like strive to like prove people wrong, and then like I guess it just kind of like made me like work harder and all that, but yeah, it was like. But yeah, it was like tough to see because I couldn't do anything about it because I wasn't playing.
Right.
So I was sitting at home just working out. So it was just kind of, I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't go out there and like play in a game and like try to like prove someone wrong or all that. But yeah, but whoever says like they don't read that stuff, like you definitely see it because you see it like pop up on Twitter or whatever it is. So
right.
It was, and then like my brother and stuff would see some of the stuff and he would be like, these people are crazy, and I'm like, I know, but it is what it is. So, and then but I just knew I couldn't do anything about it because like I wasn't playing or anything. So I was just, that was a long like 4 months or so up to the draft because we had no idea what was going to happen. We didn't know like how the draft was going to be or like where I was going to go or any of that. So it was a long 4 or 5 months or however long it was. But yeah, definitely read a lot of that stuff. So
now on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got me singing your praises, even when you don't really do anything. Do you want me to tone it down at all so that I'm not setting the bar too high, or would you like me to go the other way and just keep going?
Oh no! I mean, I like to keep going. You know, I gotta keep my expectations high too. Like you gotta keep reaching. You can't settle for something right there. You know, so you gotta keep going.
Yeah, I mean, Coley.
No problem.
Coley was on the Blaze Jordan hype train before you were picked. He was draft analyst Coley Mick was all over it, and I was like, all right. I mean, like if that's he's like, this is the guy. Like this is the guy.
Let me take you back through that process because you said it was a long 4 or 5 months for you. It was a long hour and a half for me. So like I was saying before, and me and Jared are like as diehard of Red Sox fans as you'll find.
Yeah.
So, and even Jared truly doesn't give a shit about what's happening below the Red Sox. He likes the guys. He likes the people. As far as like the day-to-day, the games, like who's ranked where, doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Once time came on board, I realized, all right, I need to pay attention to this. This is where our guys are coming from. And so about an hour before that draft, I started doing my draft prep. And once I saw your name, I remember I just tweeted out like, this is the top prospect in the draft. Like I went to YouTube. I watched your home run derbies. I watched Would You Play Perfect Game? Stuff like that. I watched those highlights. I was like, I'm sold. This is all I needed to see. People start chirping me. He's going to Mississippi State. Like, you're wasting your time.
Oh, the Mississippi State people were very protective of you.
Oh,
very upset.
I some of the stuff like on Twitter and stuff. And yeah, especially after after I was drafted, they would like still think like I was signing and all, or that I was going to Mississippi State, and like I already knew, like I already made my decision and all that. So like I couldn't say anything until I signed and all. Obviously,
For sure.
it was like one of those things. Like I was like seeing all the stuff though, and I saw how like protective and like all that they were about me, and I was like laughing, like reading a lot of the stuff though. So
We had the same thing happen this last year, not with the fan base, but with the family of Judd Fabian.
Oh,
they
yeah,
were not
they were
happy.
big mad.
They were not happy that
they were
A, we
pissed.
drafted him, and then B, we didn't sign him. They were furious about both.
yeah. Honestly, like I have no clue about this situation, but
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't even know.
But
Yeah, that was
so
the whole
then,
thing.
like the first round comes and goes, we take Nick York. I'm confused. I'm upset we didn't draft you because it's been now an hour and a half, and I've fallen in love with you as a prospect. I don't even remember, who did we take in the second round? Did we have a second round pick, or was that taken because of Watchgate?
yeah,
I think we got boned on that one.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, were you kind of shocked at this point you weren't taken? Like, had your agent or whoever told teams, like, we're not really going to be signing for like less than a first round pick, or were you just kind of taking the day as it came to you?
I was just kind of just taking it as the day, like as the day came. Like I had a draft party the night of the first round because obviously like going into like I had no idea. I knew there was a possibility for me to like go late or something. So like I didn't want to like not have a party and then like something happened and
Yeah.
So then my friends were like, hey, like what's going on? Like, you're not getting picked. And I was like, hey, just like wait a minute, you know, like
Hey, keep it down.
Hey,
Yeah, quiet down.
yeah. So then the next day, like we got the call and stuff. It was before like the draft and stuff happened and all that. So I like knew like going into like where I was going and all that. So it was a long wait for sure, but like it was like an ease in the back of my mind because like I knew we already had it in place and all that, and it was a great fit for sure and a great team. So it was it couldn't have been any better. So yeah.
I just remember people just started, because I wasn't watching. I watched the first round. After that, I was like, I've got a life to live here. And my Twitter just starts blowing up like they took your boy. And I was just like, I'm back in. I'm back all in right now.
Yeah.
Maybe the best day of my life. Like that was when Jared was like, now you're our draft analyst. And we spent all last year with the number 4 pick. So it actually like was a year where we paid attention. And now with Heim, we're just going to keep paying attention, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I was watching the draft last year too, and it was pretty cool to get Marcelo, like since like we're all basically like the same age and all that. So like we're like starting young and like all came out of high school, like me, Nick, and him and all that. So and like Nathan Hickey and like Cavadas and all of them, they've been great too. It's been a great time. I hang out with all of them, and I gotta admit, Nico can hit the ball very far.
He's a tank.
I watched him take BP. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And like me and him would be in Salem. And like we'll be taking BP and stuff, and like it's like a graveyard out there. So like it's like tough to hit the ball like out of center field. So we would just be like trying to see like who can get it out. But it's definitely fun to watch him take BP and stuff. So and he had an absolute bomb while I was up there, and I was on deck, and I was just like, I don't think I could hit one that far, but it was pretty impressive. So
I totally
Not
forgot.
yet.
Like I have Nico's number. We've texted before.
yeah,
Yeah.
I told him I was coming on here, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I know him." And I was like, "Yeah." And then because I think I mentioned to him we went to like all you can eat sushi place last night, so I think I was talking to him about it and stuff. So
Yeah, I think like I texted him. Where did he go? Did he go to
Notre Dame.
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame.
yeah,
Dave Portnoy fucking loves this guy. Like he texted me about Nico and was like, he's a guy. And I was like, all right, Dave, like you're paying attention to fucking college baseball now? Like, the fuck is this? I was like, guy can't name 3 players on the Red Sox. Like he still thinks that Mookie's on the team, but he knows
Yeah.
Nico.
it was actually like it was pretty cool because my dad's like my mom and dad are like big Notre Dame like football fans. So like they played Mississippi State in the Super Regional. And that's when he hit the like very far home run against them. And I didn't know how far it went, but that was like one of the first questions I asked him when I met him. And then he told me it was 507 feet. And, like I knew it went far, like I knew it cleared the stadium. And then he told me that they got the measurement stuff back. It was 507 feet in the Super Regional. It was like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, like up in the zone, and he just killed it. So I was asking him how that moment was because they were giving him a lot of crap and stuff at Mississippi State. So I guess it felt pretty good for him. So
Big time. Have you hit a home run over 500 feet in a game, or were they just the derbies?
Just the derbies. I think the farthest one I had this past year was like 465 or something like that. So
Some light.
Yeah, taking it easy on them. Didn't want to hurt their feelings. That's not too bad. What's it called? Your walk-up song. What are we working with right now?
Great question.
Well, last year I had Pretty Boy Swag. That was my song in Salem. In high school, I had a Like It by Cardi B. And
Okay.
I thought that was pretty good. And then I'm working on the one this year. I don't know what I'm going to go with. I have one in mind that my friend has at Mississippi State. And honestly, I can't even remember the name of it. I just got it on one of the playlists that I have. And then, but yeah, that's still a work in progress. I don't know if I'm going to go like a throwback kind of one, or
That's what I'm saying. Is like your name is Blaze. Like you have to go like old school West Coast like gangster rap.
yeah. And see, some of the guys are trying to get me to do the song that goes like blase, 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 and I'm like, I don't know. Like I was listening to it, I was like, it wouldn't sound bad, but yeah, I don't know. I a lot of homers next
I don't think it's a good walk-up song. I thought go with your gut. Don't go with blase. That's not A. It's not your name.
Yeah.
B. That's like took a couple pills in a club and now I'm feeling myself type song. That's not walk up. Let me go hit 520 type
Yeah,
song.
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, if I walked up to that, I better hit like 50 or something home runs next year. I was like, I better like pump the brakes on that one.
Are you like obviously it's Mississippi, so I assume you like country music, but you're also from the South and you're still a teen. So like, are you a big young boy NBA fan?
Honestly, I don't listen to a lot. I don't listen to a ton of rap. I listen to a ton of country though. Like if
that makes sense.
Like if I go and hit in the cages, I listen to country music. So like, and it's funny, like the hitting coaches down here, that's what they play too. And a lot of the Latin guys want the Latin music and stuff too. So we mix in that every once in a while. But it's mostly country, and that's kind of what I listen to. But I can't find like a good country song that for like a walk-up song. So last year I went with Pretty Boy Swag because I was like last minute, and I was just like, I think that'll be pretty good for a few games. So
yeah, country doesn't like get people jacked up.
Yeah,
like, that's not what it does.
No.
Yeah, so
but like that,
I've been asking a few of the guys around like what I should go with and all that. So we're still working on it. So I guess we'll see. But
yeah, I remember. I think it was the first time I ever met Brock Holt was in 2014 at John Lester's charity event. And I was like, you have to change your walk-up song to Brock Lesnar's entrance theme. And he was like, I like to listen to country because when I go to the plate, I want to be relaxed when I go up there. I don't want to be up there all tense and like ready to kill somebody. How do you feel about that? Like what type of mood or vibe are you trying to take to the plate with you to perform at the highest ability?
I mean, I want to be relaxed, but at the same time, it's almost like impossible to. So like,
you ever see a relaxed guy hit a 500-foot home run before? Like those guys are usually pretty pissed off.
I love Brock. Brock's not like the king of tanks or anything like that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
In my mind, like going into a bat, like obviously like I study the pitcher and all that, but like when I step in the box, like my goal is to like hit a ball as hard as I can, like wherever it goes. So like I set like a number in the back of my mind last year, like I want to hit a ball 110. Like that was like what I wanted to hit every time I came up was like a ball hit that hard. And then I was like, wherever it goes, it goes. So I'm more of
Isn't the record like 119 or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
110 is achievable.
Yeah, no, I hit a few
have it?
like 111 and stuff. Like
I think the top 5 is like Stanton. It's like Stanton.
True. Yeah. No, Devers hit the fastest pitch for a home run.
Yes.
That's what he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was his rookie season, right?
Yeah, that was 17.
Yeah.
I
remember watching that. I was opposite field too, right? I think.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, it was like it was left center. It was closer to center than left, but it was still left center. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. I was like, dang, he just hit like 103 mile an hour fastball. It didn't make it look like it was even that hard. He just hit it out. So yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Swatted it.
Who this is gonna make us feel terribly old, but like who are your favorite? Because your answer is probably gonna be people still playing, but who are your favorite players growing up? Like,
it was Albert Pujols because the very first major league game I ever went to was the World Series game that he hit 3 home runs. So like I was
in Texas.
I always loved watching him play. So like, but ever since that moment, that was pretty sick because Like, it was my very
Yeah.
major league game. And then he comes in and it's 3 home runs. He's my favorite player. And it was just, that was like a really cool moment. And I also really liked watching Miguel Cabrera play. And because when I was younger, like that was when he was like winning like the Triple Crown and like all of that. So it was always fun like watching him play. And he plays first and third base like I did and all that. So, and I really liked to swing and all that. So it was just two main guys that I liked watching. So.
A, you pick like 2 of the best hitters of all time, but B, you pick 2 guys who Pujols, when he was scouted, was a shortstop in community college.
Yeah.
And then I think he played some left when he first came up with the Cardinals, and then they put him at third, and then eventually first, obviously. And Miggy was kind of the same thing. Miggy was he was your age when he was starting in that World Series. That was the Miguel Cabrera we were introduced to. Did you even see him on the Marlins?
I did not. No. Yeah.
What year were you born?
2002.
Dude, come on.
That's absurd.
Come on. I was in 8th grade.
Yep.
I was like touching boobs for the first time when you were born.
Yeah.
That was back in the damn day. 2002, what was that? The year the Angels won the World Series. John Lackey was getting his first ring when you were getting your first binky.
Yeah. I was almost 2003 because my birthday is December 19th, so I was at the very end of 2002. So
you weren't even born yet when the Angels won the World Series.
Yeah.
You weren't alive when Barry Bonds hit the farthest ball that anyone's ever seen hit with the naked eye.
Yeah, that is one person that I wish like I grew up like watching though would have been Barry Bonds because like I can like go back and like watch highlights and stuff of course, but like just like looking at his numbers and all that and like his like walks to like strikeouts, I'm like people don't realize how hard it is to like not strike out, and then obviously to walk that much too. I'm like. Walking's not easy. Like he did it, like I don't even know, but yeah, his stats are incredible. So yeah.
Well, walking's not easy when you're a power hitter because you, especially a guy like Bonds. It's obviously in a more extreme example for him. You might get one good pitch to hit per at bat. He might get one good pitch to hit per series. And he would still square it up and hit it 487 feet. Yeah. Bonds was the man. Did you play? I feel like if you were born in 02, then that's crazy that like fucking MVP 05 was like you were too young to play.
He was throwing that in the trash if he saw that. That was an old system for him. What was the first video game system you played? 360?
Yeah, I played the 360 first. I played like the DS too. That was like the DS and the PSP, like the little handheld things. Those were like the first things that like I ever did. But yeah, then the 360 was like the like coolest thing ever when like I would be playing with my brother like all the time on it. And then I switched to PlayStation. I've been PlayStation ever since after that. So
like what were like the childhood movies that you watched? Like Lion King 7?
Yeah, honestly, I can't even remember. Like my favorite movie nowadays, like is just like Step Brothers and like stuff like and Wolf of Wall Street and like stuff like that. So like that's. But like when I was younger, I honestly can't even remember. I remember like watching like Sandlot and stuff like that, and the baseball movie.
That's what I like about you is I did see some interview that you did when you were like 15 or whatever. And which wasn't that long ago, fucking ridiculous.
It was an hour before this.
Where you said like all I think about is baseball. Like when I go to sleep at night, I think about baseball. Now that you're doing it professionally, do you feel the same way, or do you think like, all right, this is my job now, so when I go to sleep at night, I have to think about something else because I can't take from the field today and bring it into tomorrow?
That's definitely like one thing that I've learned from like some of like the other guys who've been there and like done that, and like some of the guys who like played in the major leagues and all that, was that once you get away from the field, like you kind of like have to get your mind off of it, so you're not like beating yourself up all the time and all that. But like obviously like when I get in the field, like I'm like working my butt off and all that, and then like but like once I know like I leave the field and like I get all my work done, like I try to go like do things to get my mind off of stuff, like whether it's just like play PlayStation or something like that, or just like go hang out with some of the guys or something. But yeah, that's like one of the bigger adjustments that I had to make, because it was like tough for me, because like I was always the type of guy who was just thinking about baseball like constantly, like, and it's always like on your mind, obviously, because like that's what you do for a living, and like I love doing it and everything. But yeah, it was just, but at the same time, it kind of gets like, if you if you like think about it so much, it kind of gets like overwhelming because then you start thinking about like all the scenarios and all that. So it's always good to like have an outlet and all that and like go do other things. And because obviously like there's like more to life than just baseball and like all that. So like it was just like, that's kind of like when I go like work camps and stuff with like all these kids, I'm like, when you're there, like you better like work your butt off and get your stuff done. But like when you're away from the field, like go do other stuff too and like be a kid and all that. And that was like something like that I wish I would have done like in high school instead of like put so much pressure on myself. But like, so once I got in the pro ball, like I kind of learned from like the other guys, like get your work done and all that. But like once you're away from the field, like you can like get your mind off of it and everything. So
when you get to Boston, the big leagues, are you mentally prepared for all the marijuana puns that are going to be thrown your way? The T-shirts, the signs, the tweets, everything.
It's actually funny you say that because I have people that like if they come up and have like a like card for me to sign or something, they would ask me to put like stuff like that on it, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Terrible
like that's
idea. Yeah,
not part of your brand at all. No.
Yeah, and I was like, man, like I mean, I'll sign it and like put like Go Sox or something, but I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Can you put 420 on the card for me, please? It's
Yeah.
like, no. Mm-mm.
And then another one that they'll do is like blaze it or something, and then I'm like, I can't. And then they like just keep asking, like, "Oh, dude, just do it for me." And I was like, I can't do it. Like if I do it for you, I got to do it for these other people and all that. So
Right.
yeah. So
And all it takes is one to go viral too. Like it's not like a whole bunch of them need to happen for it to
Right.
go viral. But I do think it'd be very funny since I know you have to do so many sign. Like how annoying is it? I'm sure you love it at first, but how annoying is it when you have to sign like 500 that Bowman just sent you?
Well, for me, it's pretty cool because I'm like big into cards, kind of like I buy like a lot of cards, like some of my favorite players and all that. So like for me, like to be on a card and like sign it, like it's like pretty cool for me to like see like all the new stuff that comes out and all that. But yeah, it does get very tiring because you're there for like hours. But because I think right now, like I've signed thousands and thousands of cards, like so it definitely takes a while to do, but it's something that like I enjoy to do, and they give you a big time frame to do it. So it's I enjoy like working with them and all that, and it's pretty cool to like see like people like buying my cards and stuff. And some of my buddies will like send my cards on eBay, like how much they're selling for and all that. And I honestly I think it's crazy, like it's pretty crazy. But like yeah, I mean I appreciate like everybody who's doing it because I'm like they're basically like kind of supporting me and like all that too. So like it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
and all that. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it is tiring though.
Yeah, I can relate. Yeah, it's Coley never asked me this question. I also have a Topps baseball card. It's exhausting having to sign them all. People will send
what was
the
yours
cards
numbered to?
What?
What was yours numbered to?
I don't know. There's a fuck ton. They send them to my parents' house all the time. Every time I go to my parents for dinner, they're like, "Here's a fucking stack of envelopes," and then people will like mail them to be like signed and sent back.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though.
That's another thing that I have a lot. Like my parents are at home right now, and they're sending like my fan mail and stuff to my house, and I have like it's like over like 500 pieces of fan mail that I have. So it's like it takes.
They're all from me. They're all I wrote them all.
yeah, but like. It's something like that I like to do though, because like I like reading all the notes and stuff, and I obviously like I have to like personalize all the stuff and like all that. But a lot of the people just like that anyways, because they're just like collecting and stuff and all that. So it's pretty cool to like, especially like when it's like a kid and stuff, and they write you like a little note, and that's like pretty cool to see. So I try to get to as many as I can. It takes me a while, but it's that's another thing that I enjoy doing. So that gives me like another thing to do when I'm here. So
now playing off of Jared's marijuana pun, are you planning on sticking with 24 throughout, or like, because that's 420 backwards, friend, like I'm just warning you.
Yeah, well in Salem I was number 19, but like my jersey number that I signed with was 24. So I honestly, like, I guess it kind of depends on who has the number. So if someone doesn't have it, like I would love to have 24, but if someone has it, like obviously I gotta have to go with something else. But it's I was 24 growing up always, so
I feel like 24, it's a requirement to be able to hit 500-foot home runs if you wear 24 in Boston, though.
Correct.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, when I signed and I had the picture of the shirt, people were like letting me know about it and stuff. So they were like, you better you better hit a lot of homers if you're gonna have that jersey with the sign. But I was like, yeah, but
yeah, that's like a whole thing up here, especially because people like want it retired for Dwight Evans. People want it retired for Manny. Then David Price was wearing it. I mean, I feel like the Red Sox put that to bed real quick because I want to see if you remember this, Coley. The Red Sox traded Manny in 08, and then in 09, they immediately gave 24 to someone else who definitely didn't deserve it. Do you remember who they gave it to? Just not even fucking close to being deserving.
I feel like I do remember it. Like I remember that because they did similar things with Nomar too. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck was it? Was it Chris? What's his name?
Nope. It was Takashi Saito. Just some fucking bum ass reliever. They were like, yeah, here's 24 if you want it. Like, we just want to move on from this real quick. So at least know 24 will be up for grabs, presumably, if someone doesn't. Like, no one has it right now, right? No?
No, and Casas is like 37, so I think he's going to stick with that, I would imagine. Unless, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even remember. Yeah, I don't know.
No one on the team currently has 24, no. Yeah. Price was the last guy to wear it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then he gave it.
And he didn't even stick with it. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. All right, last question, because I know we've already taken up an hour of your time. Are you a goals guy? And if you are, what are your goals for this upcoming season? Is getting promoted once, more than once? Do you have like a benchmark for homers that you want to hit? Do you want to have a certain on-base percentage? Do you want to walk more? Do you want to cut down on strikeouts? What do you want to be faster? Do you want to have a better defense? Like, what are your goals?
For like one of the big things for me is like to stay healthy and play as many games as I can, because that's like the way that you like kind of move up and all that. So that's probably the main goal of my season, is just stay healthy through the whole thing and get as many games in. And obviously, like, to move up, and which I know that has like a lot of factors and stuff. But in the back of my mind, like, you're always like wanting to move up, because once you move up, you're one step closer to the big leagues, and that's my goal. So, and but I wouldn't have like certain like numbers that like I'm trying to reach or anything. But for me, like, I don't want to like strike out a lot, because I know that was like a big thing like with me like coming in and all that. But last year, I feel like I did a pretty good job of it, but I was getting myself out like sometimes with my pitch selection and stuff. So for me this year, I just want to kind of like get my pitch till I drive, and which will hopefully like turn into more homers and all that. So, and obviously want to hit more homers always. So that's another thing too. So yeah, but those are kind of like the main things that like I'm trying to focus on. And then obviously like my defense, like I want to be like the best defender that I can be, because that's like another like very important part. Because if you can't play defense, you really can't really make it to the big leagues. So it's kind of So then obviously like staying fast and stuff too. But it's we're still working on that one. I'm trying to get there, but we're working hard on that down here. So
one step at a time.
Oh yeah.
No one cares about strikeouts anymore. Look at the Yankees. No. Their whole lineup is just guys who strike out 400 times a year. Like that. Don't beat yourself up over that. Just keep hitting tanks. Everything else will find its way.
Oh, yeah, I know. But, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I strike out less, that's just more opportunity for homers. So, like, I'm just like,
Also true. Also true.
I hit the ball up in the air a little bit more, so it gives me more chance for a home run. So, I had that in the back of my mind also, so.
I mean, I don't know if you've met Devers or had any conversations with him, but you guys are going to get along famously just talking about homers. That's all he cares about, too.
Yeah, that's one person I haven't met yet, because, well, obviously last year was spring training, all that. The big league camp was before us and everything, so I haven't got to meet him or anything yet. But, so I haven't gotten to talk to him or anything, so.
He's great. We were on his World Series duck boat, and I'm now going to invite us on your World Series duck boat in 5 years, so we're looking forward to that day, too.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be a great day. I can't wait to look back on this clip 5 years from now and be like, damn, called it. And I looked great back then for 32 going on 33. Blaze Jordan, fucking 19 years old.
And like very far away from 20 too. Like we got a whole year before we get to 20.
Yeah. That's insane.
Good Lord.
Pimp the Twitter and Instagram for the people.
Wait, what was that?
Your Twitter and Instagram. What do we got so we can get you bumped that follower?
I got my Instagram is BlazeJordan24, and then my Twitter is Blaze_J24 maybe. I think
we got to clean that up. Yeah,
I think I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I know my Instagram is BlazeJordan24. I know that for
Blaze_J24. Yeah, well.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
we're gonna clean that.
Yeah, we're gonna mop that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do better next time when we do a follow up. That Twitter is gonna be nice and clean.
Oh yeah, we gotta get that. Yeah.
Blaze Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time. We've been looking forward to this for a long time, so we really appreciate you doing this.
I appreciate y'all having me. It was a lot of fun for sure. I was waiting to get on here too, so I was excited to finally get it done. So
hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to part 2.
It's not done. This is the first of many appearances.
Oh yeah. We got many more to come.
Thanks to Blaze Jordan for coming on the podcast.
What a delight.
Yeah. Who's to say he won't do it again? Not me.
I contractually demanded he come back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
So he's kind of stuck.
Yeah. Pat, what was the highest profile interview that you did as a prospect?
I have no idea.
You don't remember anyone that interviewed you before you made your big league debut?
Who's the guy that he works for The Athletic now? You go back. Yeah, he interviewed me once. I remember that. And the only reason I remember that is because you go back and forth with him so much. And then I was like, that guy looks really familiar. And I asked my buddy, I was like, did I ever meet this guy? And he was like, yes. And then I saw our DMs on Twitter. I think we have DMs on Twitter about scheduling the interview.
Do you remember what level you were at?
It was one of my first years in spring. It was in spring training. It was one of my first years. I don't remember what it was, but he was like friends with my buddy who was pitching for the Sox, like a minor league guy, and he had asked if my buddy could connect him with me. I don't think he was at The Athletic though, or whatever. I think it was like 2014 or something like that.
Imagine thinking that it's difficult to get in touch with Pat Light on social media. I feel like that's all you do. It's just you're on.
Not at this time. If it was one of my first, I didn't make a Twitter until after I got drafted.
Okay, which is smart.
Looking back, yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Yeah, so I didn't know. I wasn't a big social media guy at that time.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the top 6 species of frogs completing out Pat's 12-pack for this week. Coley, by the way, just a little teaser before we get into the top 6 of Pat's 12-pack species of frogs. What is Pat's 12-pack next week? I forgot what we had for him.
His top 12 next week are Gothic era churches in Europe. Top 12.
I want to quit the podcast.
The top 12 Gothic era churches in Europe next week on the 10. Pat's 12 pack.
Pat, where did you, what undercover cop store did you buy that all white hat from?
It's not all white.
It certainly looks it.
That's what I said.
We were talking
too.
about this before you came on.
Yeah.
I think there's a window right here, over here, and I think it's making it look it, but it's a tan hat.
Nope.
Still looks white. Yep. All right.
The whole time you look like an NFL referee when they do the throwback games and they make the refs for some reason also wear throwback ref uniforms and they just have the white hat.
Yeah, we make hats at Green Rock, and there was an all white one. I was like, oh, that would be nice. And then I took one, and then I put it on one day. And I was like, I'm never gonna wear this. I can't wear this. So.
It's just not a good. It's too like bright to be the top of your head. Like it's alarming a little bit. Like you need to be holding a clipboard if you're gonna wear an all white hat. Mm-hmm. Number 6.
Still looks. Okay. Number 6. We'll make this quick too because we want to.
No, I got questions probably.
Yeah, you'll pretty much know the 6. You're not gonna be asking any questions.
Okay.
We have the tomato frog at number 6.
There's a tomato frog?
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with the tomato frog? What's he about?
Say that again?
Where can you find him?
Well, the tomato frog is indigenous to the Kenyan region, but it's pretty all over the place now because of transports, exports, and imports, you know.
Tomato frogs are driving cars now.
Well, no, they're just being imported and exported.
Oh, so are they like a delicacy?
No, it's kind of like, remember when we talked about how spiders could take over the world from Coley?
Yes.
And how they get transported through the imports and exports of bananas?
Yes.
Similarly,
what could we find? Like we open up a box of what, and there might be a tomato frog in there. Tomatoes?
That'll do it.
Tomatoes.
A couple mates.
That makes a fuck ton of sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Number 5.
We have the true frog.
What's the deal with the true frog? Is it like
back in ancient Greece?
Yeah,
they viewed this frog as a truth teller.
Okay,
and so when they had, you see today, you see like you see a dog have to choose sides, and they put it like on TikTok, and they say like, oh, whatever side he chooses is the thing, whatever. Back in those days, it was the true frog. So if they, let's say, for example, Athens wanted to go to war with Sparta, and they were unsure if they should do it or not, they would do war, no war, put the true frog in the middle, and he would decide, or she.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. Number 4.
Number 4, the Cope's gray tree frog.
No questions.
Yep. Okay, you know the Cope's gray. Everyone knows the Cope's gray.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Number 3.
Number 3 is the bullfrog. Oh, there he is. There he is. Number 3.
No one saw that coming.
Wow.
Which one? Which one?
The African, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, the other bullfrogs are just subcategories. So it's the OG, the African bullfrog.
The African bullfrog coming in at number 3. That's like you just didn't know where it was going to show up. You had to know that. Yeah, okay. So like Pat teased the idea of the bullfrog not making the list. Of course, it was going to make the list. Of course, it's a top 3, but it's on the lowest end of the top 3 that you can be. So that means there's 2 species of frogs that Pat has above the African bullfrog. Take it away, Pat. Number 2.
Yes. Number 2, the Goliath frog.
Ooh. Are those frogs just big?
Huge, in fact.
How big?
They're the biggest ever recorded was 5'4".
What? Coley, can we get a visual on this, please?
They don't have any pictures because when it was founded, it was what was it? What was that? The Aztecs founded it. And,
the Aztecs, yes,
the Aztecs, and they didn't have cameras back in the day, so they weren't able.
They
recorded it in stone scripture.
That like the thing about like the Goliath frog. Where is it? The Goliath
Just
frog.
having a sit.
Just having a sit. That guy looks like.
So that looks like it was just born, probably.
Yeah.
And they lived to be 70, 80 years old.
Wow. Look at the guy in the striped shirt holding the Goliath frog. Actually, no, the kid next to him. See?
This guy?
Yeah. That's a big ass frog, man.
This kid took a ton of pictures with this frog.
Yeah.
And that gentleman right there is pretty famous. That gentleman is actually 6'8". So you see, just for just for reference.
Right.
Look at that picture. Yeah.
That's a big frog, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. He's eating a mouse. That mouse is like, please, somebody help me. And no one wants to mess with the Goliath frog.
No, can't.
Wow. You know, all this talk about the Goliath frog really makes me want to have sex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And most guys have tried different ways to last longer, but thinking about baseball doesn't, or the Goliath frog, it doesn't always work. The folks at Roman and Online Men's Health Company are changing the game with Roman Swipes. It is the secret to longer lasting sex. Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, and they're fast acting, but they don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in a discreet, unmarked package, and each swipes packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipes out of the packet, you swipe it on your piece, you let it dry, and you're good to go. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just go to GetRoman.com/rocket, and you can get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That is GetRoman.com/rocket. Now here we are. Pat's 12-pack species of frogs. It's all come down to this. The top three has not disappointed. This might even be your best list so far, Pat. This might even be your best list.
There's one frog out there that hasn't been said yet, and if it's not one, it's gonna undercut the whole list. So I'm very curious to see what one's about to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's have some fun dialogue here, Coley. What are you expecting?
You'll hear after I hear number one. You'll hear. And there's a lot. Listen, I'll be the first to admit it. There's a lot of good frogs. I think we all agree. Great frogs. So it's a hard list to make, but I do think a lot of people would have this one, not even necessarily number one, but on their lists. And so far we haven't heard it. So let's go.
Listen, there's no way my number one is the right one.
It could be.
Nope, definitely not. Number one. Here we go. Number one is the Argentine horned frog.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I've got no qualms with the horned frog. Great frog.
Good. Great frog.
The poison dart frog not making your list at all is insane. Insane.
Some would say that.
Some would say that.
But here we are.
The poison dart frog?
Just what a name.
Yeah.
B. I mean, look at this. Look at this fucking guy.
The fire-bellied toad.
Well, toads and frogs are not the same.
Yeah, different types.
Look at this guy.
He's tiny, huh?
This is an elite frog. Yeah, he's filled with poison. Look at this.
How do frogs poison people if they don't have
It's not necessarily people. It's like when an animal will put it in its mouth, they secrete the poison, like that covers their whole body in it, and then they get spit out.
So could this frog kill a human? How long would that take?
I don't know if they even kill the people trying to eat them as much as the poison causes them to immediately spit them out, and it could incapacitate them, but I don't think it's like snake poison. This is a blog entitled "Why You Should Own Dart Frogs." So that doesn't make them out to be the most dangerous. But yeah, these guys are sick. Look at this guy.
I like the
12.
purple one.
Not top 12. Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Do Do you think this guy used a Roman?
Oh, definitely. Look at him. He's going to town. He can't feel a thing on his penis. Look at that. Incredible. Maybe they'll make the next one. Anyways, Pat's 12 pack brought to you by Coors Light. Thank you to Coors Light for being the presenting sponsor. Next week, Pat's 12, top 12 Gothic churches, Gothic style churches in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go style, not era. That way you get a little bit more of a broad spectrum.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Top 12.
Top 12. In Europe.
In Europe.
Okay.
It's got to be in Europe.
Okay. Europe.
I'm excited for that one.
Same.
I didn't see this video of Chris Sale. Where can I find this?
I feel like a lot of report.
Yeah,
I mean, just type Chris Sale into the search bar. I'm sure it will. I would bet money it pops up. It's got some shorts on, a hat.
Christopher Allen?
Mm-hmm.
You don't say.
I do say.
Let's see. Look at my Red Sox list here. Matt Barnes on the 2021 season. Quote, "It was probably the craziest year of my life." More on that and his expectations for 2022 coming on the Mexican Times. Wow. What a scoop. Matt Barnes enjoyed the IG Live from FGCU. We were talking about it the other day. I almost did it in the bullpen the other day. Talked to these guys the other day and said, I think it would be kind of cool concept to give people some baseball this morning. I think it was received well. I think a lot of people liked it. Maybe we'll fire it up a couple more times. This is the shit that you just don't get anywhere other than the Mexican Times.
Mm-hmm.
Should we ask him what else he's got, scoop-wise?
Cotillo?
Yeah.
Nah. He got an award.
Cotillo did?
Yeah.
Well, what was it?
Oh, I didn't read it. It just I saw a lot of he was retweeting a lot of
Praise for
other
himself?
Yeah. Instead of just getting back to the grind and focusing on that next award.
Right.
Kind of taking it easy.
I kind of want to know what the award is.
The most Chris Cotillo. He's the Chrisiest.
He's the biggest Chris Cotillo going. What stupid ass award did you win?
Some column writing contest or national award, I guess.
It's a contest? What are you fucking?
No, it wasn't a contest. It was an award. The Associated Press Sports Editors. Very nice.
What was that?
He got a scholarship.
Yeah, you get a scholarship. What was that? What was that fucking magazine? Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Live
Hi,
to tape.
everybody.
No one cares.
All right.
What was that fucking magazine called? Oh man, it was in all the dentist's office. No,
Sporting News?
no, not sport. It was for it was like a kids magazine. I used to draw pictures and send them.
I know what
Highlights.
you're talking about.
Highlights.
Highlights for kids.
That was great.
Is that the award that you won?
I did. Yeah, if anybody's interested, I'm out at a restaurant in Fort Myers right now. Chris Sale is about 2 tables over. Should I put him on?
Yeah. What's he wearing?
Shirt.
What color is it?
Gray. Una camisa. Gray.
Have him go up to Chris Sale.
Yeah, go up to Chris Sale and conduct a live interview with us.
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants to talk to Pat, I'm sure.
That's a cheap shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's your beef with Pat?
Oh, no, I have no beef. We had a great. Last time I saw Pat was an awesome time. We had our fantasy football draft there.
Where?
Green Rock.
At Green Rock?
We did.
I didn't even know that you had a history with Pat Light.
Oh yeah.
Pat, do you like Chris?
I love Chris.
He said he loves you, but there's no way that was sincere.
No, it was. We had a great time that day.
Okay, who are you at fucking lunch with right now?
I'm writing. It's more of a working lunch.
Ah, you're by yourself.
Yeah. It's it's actually when you get in the BBWA, it's a requirement to start saying "table for one" anywhere you go.
Okay.
So, and then they give you the Hall of Fame vote.
Right.
Yeah, what is he gonna get a Hall of Fame vote?
You have to be in the
No,
BBWA
I've
for.
enough of this. Thank you.
You don't get to fucking end this. Like, we'll end this when we want to. Wow. He is Chris Cotillo is suspended from the show indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
You don't get to end the conversation. We hang up on you every time.
So someone was approaching the table. I would wager a player of some sort.
Had to have been something
Had to
like
have
that.
And he didn't want that player to be like, "Oh, you're talking to Jared? I would like to talk to Jared." And
Yeah.
then just like get his phone stolen by like Pedro Siriaco or someone.
Right. It was probably an attractive woman walking by the table, and he wanted to hang up to make himself seem available so that just in case she wanted to say hi to him, but really she was cross-eyed and she was looking at Chris Sale, not him. We've all been there. Well,
Sounds like she needs better help.
yeah, do we have better help?
Sure do. Oh, nope.
No, we have HelloFresh. Sounds like if she came up to Chris Cotillo's table, what do you think she said, Coley?
Well, again, she's cross-eyed, so she was reading it, and at first she was like, "Oh, better help," and then Chris Cotillo was like, "No, blindo," because he's not a good person. He said that, and then he said, I'm at a restaurant, but I brought my own HelloFresh from home because it's better than the swill they serve here. You know?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
You know what else it is? It is 72% cheaper than the restaurant meal that Chris Cotillo is out right now.
Cotillo.
Cotillo. And you can save on average over $65 per month when you order HelloFresh instead of the grocery shopping. That's money back in your pocket, Jared.
Yeah, it is.
Back in your pocket.
Lord knows I need it.
Lord knows it.
Been cut off. No, hold on. After I've been cut off financially by the company, so I'm broke right now. I have no source of income.
HelloFresh offers 50 menu and market items to choose from every week, including veggie, fit, and wholesome, family-friendly, and gourmet options, providing plenty of variety. Coley, didn't you just have an experience with HelloFresh?
Pat, my whole life at this point is just one long experience with HelloFresh. I am inundated with HelloFresh boxes, meals, ingredients, seasonings, all of it. I'm one big walking ad billboard for HelloFresh.
Love that. Well, if you want to be like Coley, go to HelloFresh.com/section16 and use code section16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts.
Wow.
What a time. What a time.
What's an example of one of the gifts they give, Pat?
They give cheese fondue.
Ooh. It's a big gift.
Big gift. Big gift.
Huh.
Fondue's never really taken off. Like
No.
It's always been around, but it's never like had its moment.
Nope.
Do you guys have a fondue fountain at Big Sam's?
Nope.
Have you considered installing one? Really class up.
Of course,
the
everyone, any person that owns a restaurant, before they do it, they're like, "Well, should we put a fondue fountain?"
Mm-hmm. Now, would you put it in the?
That has to be cut.
It's not even the real name of the restaurant.
That has to be cut.
Listen, I didn't design the layout of your restaurant. That's just what I've been informed is the setup. Per Grandma Light.
Oh my god.
We can cut it. I don't care.
Please.
Please.
It screams this place getting shut down.
Someone's going to be like, all right, I know that's not the name, but I'm sure I can figure out which restaurant is owned by Pat Light.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're bleeping it. Patrick, you have anything exciting going on this weekend?
No, actually. I was almost in Vegas.
Shocking.
On Tuesday. Went business, actually, which we discussed earlier this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't able to make it. So that was probably the most exciting thing that was possibly happening this week/weekend. But I wasn't able to make it work.
We're getting a lot of snow.
I know.
Mm-hmm. A lot of snow. Starting tonight, actually.
Mm-hmm. We have it from like 10 p.m. tonight until 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jake?
I think I'm just hanging around.
There you are. What's like a prototypical night of hanging around with Jake look like?
Probably a little Celtics or Bruins if they're on.
Mm-hmm.
Followed shortly after by GameCube, Mario Kart, Nintendo Switch.
GameCube is like the original GameCube?
Yeah, like the OG.
Did they ever make one after the original one? What year did that come out?
Probably like late
30?
90s.
No, that was in the O's for sure.
Really?
GameCube came out like 06.
No, I want to 02, 03.
'Cause I was playing
GameCube.
GameCube in high school.
2001. It actually came out 3 days after 9/11.
Pretty good. No, that was in Japan. In America, it was November 18th. Japan just kept right on rolling. They weren't too worried about it.
Yeah, they're like, whatever.
Not our problem.
Yeah.
We got a cube. We got a cube people need.
We got a cube. People need to play video games. We got it. November 18th, 2001 in North America. This
My
was
father.
The fucking GameCube was like the follow-up to N64.
Yeah.
Kick rocks.
My father, for whatever reason, was like, you need to focus more on school. Like, everything you get this Christmas is going to be like learning based. And I was like, well, that's going to fucking stink. And then Christmas morning, there was a GameCube there. But my father, being the jackass that he was, did not communicate with my mother that a GameCube was going to be or had been purchased. So he just got me the cube. No games. Didn't come with any games. It was just a cube. And there was nothing I could do with it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was GameCube like, they were like mini CDs? Those were the games?
Yeah. Tiny discs.
Yeah, I never had a GameCube. I didn't want to let go of it. I still haven't really let go of N64. I'll play an N60. Like, if you gave me an option, yeah. If you gave me an option of any gaming system to play, I'd be like, do you have N64? Like, that would be my legitimate first question. I never owned a GameCube. I think I went from N64 to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4. For a guy that doesn't game, I've had a lot of gaming systems, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the PlayStation 3 was such an abomination. Everyone, like, Xbox kind of really fucked up because they got everybody at that point. PS3 was that bad.
Yeah.
And then everyone just went right back to PS4. Xbox is still doing well, obviously. They're a good competitor. Nintendo kind of is its own thing. They've somehow, they're like Sweden. Like, they exist, everyone acknowledges them, but they're not like a threat to the other two somehow. Like, they just allow Nintendo to coexist, but Xbox and PlayStation are always at odds somehow.
Because Nintendo, I feel like Nintendo has its own like language.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. Like Xbox and PlayStation, I feel like there are games that are on both platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like you can't play fucking Super Mario on Xbox.
Correct. Can't do it. You can't play Sonic though.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have a PS4 right now. Dallas sent it to me. I didn't buy it.
You should get a Switch.
The fuck is that?
The new Nintendo. Newer.
What do they got on it?
They've got N64 on it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's what this is. I have a wireless N64 controller, and I play N64 on my Switch.
Huh.
And it's like Nintendo manufactured controller. It's not like some because so many people are like you. They didn't want to abandon the N64, but those controllers weren't built to last 25 years.
Right.
So the secondary market started making those controllers, and they fucking stunk. Whatever was in the magic at the Nintendo factory was not easily replicable outside of those walls. So every secondary controller is dog shit. The Nintendo in October announced that they were bringing N64 online to the Switch, and that they would be selling the original controllers but wireless. And I immediately bought one the second they announced it, and it's been a great time.
It's smart. When they have like the N64 games on the Switch, are the graphics updated, or are they just
No.
they're just what they were?
Yeah. I mean, if you were going to update them, you would just release it on the Switch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just become a conduit for N64. I've played some of the Switch games are fun, and they do have updated graphics, but I'm still trying to grind. Like, they don't have all the contract stuff figured out, so it's only like 20 games right now, I want to say. But there's like potential GoldenEye will come back. There's a potential, I don't know that there's a potential NFL Blitz. I fucking hope so. If I have those 3 games, I'm good.
What's the third? You said 2.
I realized that after I said it. Banjo-Kazooie.
Got it. Yeah, for me, my third would be Star Fox.
I was never a Star Fox guy.
Oh, you got to get into the Fox.
I've tried. Star Fox is on there.
Oh. Yeah, I'm a big Star Fox, GoldenEye, Blitz, and like I guess Super Mario, but like who fucking cares? Oh no. What the fuck is what was the game where all like the Super Smash
Mario
Brothers?
Party? Oh,
No,
Super
Smash Brothers, yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
Smash is on. I assume it is because I know Kart's on there. But I don't know. You're not even a Mario Kart guy, right? You're a fucking...
No, I am.
I thought you were a Diddy Kong guy.
No. I'm a Mario Kart guy.
Who was I talking? Someone I was talking to recently said it was better, and I almost like strangled them to death.
If I
What's going on?
it's that time of the show where Pat he just wants to go home.
I am technically home.
Were you an N64 guy, Pat?
Huge. Still am.
Still am.
Still am, yeah.
Do you have it set up there or no?
In the other room.
Okay. What the fuck's funny about that?
Well, because you guys think I'm an alcoholic, and one of the reasons I still play is because there's a drinking game that goes with it.
Mario
Oh
Kart?
yeah, I watched you do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Right?
you did do that via FaceTime.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That was like during like the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah.
You still play that?
Oh, yeah. Well, very occasionally now. But back in the day, I played a lot more, but it's...
Yeah, it's a college game.
Yeah, I just it's my favorite drinking game to play. I don't really like all the other ones. You kind of just sit around and like it seems like you're just that's the one drinking game. Doesn't seem like I'm just making up rules to drink. like it's like part of the race. I enjoyed that.
No. You've taken a game that already had rules and you've added drinking to it.
Yeah, but I didn't make a game. Like I didn't make kings. Like I didn't just sit down and say, okay, sixes are. I don't remember what sixes are.
Chicks.
But
Six is chicks.
Six is chicks. I didn't just make things up. Like there was a game, and we're like, you know what would make this better? Let's see if we can finish a beer in the time it takes to do the race, but you can't drink and drive. I think that is a tremendous drinking game.
Who's your character?
Donkey Kong. DK. Favorite guy. Never been anyone else.
I don't know why you'd be Donkey Kong.
Great handle on the car.
Yeah, but he's so heavy that he's not going to go as fast.
It's not about not going as fast. It just takes longer when he gets hit to get going again. But I spin out much less because I have better handle.
Got it.
Who are you?
I was a Yoshi
Are you a
guy.
Toad? Yeah, Yoshi. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That does make sense.
Why does that make sense?
Toad and Yoshi are pretty interchangeable, I feel like. They're the fastest. Seems like they're small.
What are you getting at?
Just makes sense. Jake?
I'm a Yoshi guy too, so I'm not gonna talk shit.
Yeah, Coley, you fucking asshole. What are you? Oh, I like Bowser because he's big and stupid like me.
That's mean.
What the hell? That's what's his
Wario.
fucking name?
Wario.
Yeah. I remember when you got that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wario has the perfect combination of both speed and balance. He's not the fastest. He's not the biggest, but the bigger guys can't necessarily box him out. The smaller guys can't necessarily beat him in a dead sprint.
Is it all just placebo effect, or are characters actually like? Is there something to a character being better at certain things, or kind of?
There is.
Yeah, I didn't learn it until I think when I started doing drunk driving. But I used to think they were all the same, just not the case.
So like, depending on who you choose, there's just different. Like, I think I've exclusively my entire life been Yoshi. Like, I don't know what it's like to play that game and not be Yoshi.
I've only been DK, so I would agree with that.
Yoshi's good. Don't get me wrong. Love Yoshi. I do think it's kind of like a main character syndrome pick.
What do you mean? Yoshi's not a fucking main character.
In that game, he is. It might as well be his game.
That's so wrong.
I think he's the best one. He's the best player.
Mario Kart.
Sure. And Mario's shit without Yoshi. He's a nobody. He's a fraud.
I feel like no one's ever Luigi, because if you're getting like people that want to be one of like the Mario brothers, you're gonna be Mario. Like no one's gonna be like, yeah, I fuck with Luigi.
See, I feel like no one's ever Mario. Like
Yeah,
that's,
I don't think anyone's either of them.
Well, I think Hank, if I remember correctly, is a Luigi guy.
Really?
I think so. I know there's someone at the office who's a Luigi guy, and I think it's Hank.
That's
which is
insane.
very funny. Very funny. One of
I
my
could see
friends in
Hank
college.
being a Luigi guy.
One of my friends in college was always Peach, and Peach is a good pick. She dusts people. She's really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mario Kart was just ahead of its time because it wanted to reward people for being progressive.
Could be.
Like, yeah, if you're one of these guys playing this out of college and you pick the girl character, Guess what? We're going to reward you by being extra fast.
Yeah. And she's got some height to her, so she's good at drifting. Like she's a weapon out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any Toad people.
Oh, there's a lot of Toad people.
Tons of Toads.
Really?
A lot of Toad people. Yeah, he's really fast.
I can't believe you said that Yoshi's the main character. That's just not true.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone sprints. When you don't have, if you've got a group of scoundrels as friends and you don't have pre-agreed upon characters, it's a sprint to Yoshi. Yoshi's that guy. It's his game.
Jake, do you agree or disagree?
Like the dozen is Brandon Walker's always yelling about his show. He's Mario. I'm Yoshi. I win. I'm the best. It's the same thing.
Jake, your thoughts on this?
I mean, I hadn't thought about until now how embarrassing it is that Mario is just completely upstaged in his own game. It's like literally no one is ever Mario, and the game's named after him.
I feel like when did N64 come out? 96?
5 or 6, yeah.
I feel like when Mario Kart first came out, everyone was like, I have to be Mario. And then as time went on, everyone kind of realized like Mario ain't shit.
He's terrible.
He's terrible.
He's
no
just
one's a
average
Bowser
at
guy.
everything. Yeah, Bowser I think is the least chosen. Because if you're going to be someone big, you're going to pick Donkey Kong or Wario. There's really, like, Bowser's slow. He's not going to get spun out a lot, but he's like, there's just no redeeming characteristics to be Bowser. Now, in the newer versions, Baby Bowser, that guy's a handful. He's a real handful.
I was Bowser a lot when I first got the game. Like 7-year-old Jared was Bowser.
He probably stunk. I would dust that kid.
I don't know if that's true.
I do.
You do? I don't know. What the fuck's going on in the back of someone's background? Is that you, Pat?
I mean, I guess someone's putting away dishes in the kitchen.
No.
You guess?
I figured the mic wouldn't be able to pick that up from
Oh, yeah.
that far away and the door closed, but I guess it does.
Mm-hmm. It's a good mic.
Great mic.
It's big time mic.
Mm-hmm.
You think we're going to have baseball anytime soon?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Coley's so locked in, you didn't even realize we already did the Roman ad.
Yeah.
It was fully read?
Mm-hmm.
I heard it brought up, and then I the next thing I heard was us not actually doing it. So my apologies.
No, we did it. Nope.
Yeah, Jared finished it.
We
My
landed that plane.
apologies.
Yep.
This is me
I
apologizing.
remember specifically because I knew that it was now my turn whenever it came up another ad.
Well, that's why when there was such a long pause for HelloFresh, like Jared typically does HelloFresh, so that's why I was shocked you took it.
I hate doing anything that has words that I can't pronounce. And I feel like there are a lot of like foods specifically, like dating back to like 2017 with Starting 9. I think it was like no free ads, but like the Blue Apron read.
Oh, yeah.
Very difficult for me. There's all kinds of different cheeses I couldn't pronounce. Reading's tough. People don't talk about that enough. We
Reading's
read
hard.
shame too often in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
All right. Well, you know what? It's been a great show. Thanks to Blaze Jordan for coming on. Jake, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think the best part of the Blaze Jordan interview was when Coley was saying, how mad are you that Mookie's not still on the team? And he talked about that for a little bit, and then he said, yeah, but that guy had a pretty good stint with the Red Sox.
That question came out weird because I didn't know exactly how to word it. Like, how mad are you don't get to play with one of the best players in the league, which is also kind of insulting because he's in the system with a couple of guys we got back for Mookie Betts. So I think he answered it well. I don't think I asked it as well as I would have liked to, but yeah, it was he was very, like, all Blaze Jordan thinks about is when's the next time I can hit a home run. That's all he thinks about. If he's not currently hitting a home run, he's thinking about his next home run. If you left that interview without the utmost faith that he's just going to come up and slug dingers for 15 years, I don't know what else I can tell people.
There you have it.
I'm also shocked he's not a Ford Raptor guy.
Yeah, he'll get there. He's still young.
He's already gotten past it though.
Whatever, the G-Wagon?
He went Range Rover G-Wagon. I feel like you go Raptor, Range Rover G-Wagon.
Well,
I feel like he skipped over it.
He'll get to a point where he has both.
True.
He will own a Raptor.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
He's like the face of Ford Raptors in my mind.
Yeah.
Everything about Blaze Jordan screams Ford Raptor.
Him and Wade Miley.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll be back next week. If you want a guest, tweet at Pat_Light and tell him who you want him to personally contact to get on the podcast for next week's episode. Make sure you tag that person in the tweet with Pat so that they see it, Pat sees it, everyone sees it. And Pat is going to go out to someone between now and the next episode. And Pat's going to, because, he's talked about how he loves sending DMs. So now it's time to send some DMs to potential guests. And whoever the guest is next week, that's your assignment for next week, Pat. And on top of Pat's 12-pack Gothic churches in Europe.
Okay.
On top of that,
what's funny, Pat?
Are you on the show or not?
What's so funny?
Coley just tweeted at me already, putting at Barack Obama. I'll reach out.
You have a blue check. People pay attention to accounts with blue checks.
He has a podcast. Maybe he wants to pump that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he does. He does have a podcast, Pat.
I am aware of that.
So I think that's going to be a fun assignment. Pat Light, going out there and getting a guest for next week.
Barrio.
I'll make sure I send DM to both former presidents.
All two of them.
We can really dive into some stuff with Bill.
Yeah, Bill's probably got a ton of shit to talk about. So, yeah, tweet at Pat_Light with any suggestion that you want him to reach out to for next week's episode for a guest. And yeah, just let us know. Let us know who you end up reaching out to, just so we can have some sort of prep ahead of time to conduct the interview.
Okay.
Doesn't even have to be Red Sox related.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's Nipsey Hussle. Is that the name, Coley? No? That's not his name?
Famously dead.
Oh, he's dead?
Famously.
Maybe don't ask him, Pat.
No.
Maybe ask Martha Stewart. She in jail still or no?
No. Alive and well.
Alive and out of prison.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just somewhere in between those two on the spectrum.
All right.
Make sure they're
Got it.
alive too.
So
Definitely.
are we pushing the Gothic churches since I already have
No,
a...
no,
No, we're not. We're not pushing. No, of course not.
No. Of course not. Yeah, no, the churches will be next week. But I mean, the interview, I mean, we'll all be doing the interview. That's not like just a Pat thing, but it's the guest that Pat went out and got.
Okay.
So, all right. We'll see you next week.
Buenas noches, amigos.